Ascot?
Bob's Amp Ascot. Yes. Because Ascot, of course, is the hottest time of the year, like it always is.
I was thinking that same thing. The other day I did pull up the schedule because I couldn't quite remember. And that's the first thing I thought. It's always hot as hell for that race.
Yeah, every year. It's in July.
Aren't they doing a big break in between them?
After they do Ascot, they're taking a month and a week or something, 5-6 weeks, and then we'll come back in September for
Moto shit?
When is that one? I don't know when that one is.
I clicked on that. I thought it was the schedule.
OklahomaMX.com. Let's see here.
Yeah, I thought they were taking a big break in the hottest time of the year. So,
yeah, I think it is after Ascot. They're skipping August or most of August, if I remember correctly. Here it is. Utilize our new TV we got here.
Yeah, so Jandebeur's, Stillwater, Ascot.
No, Ascot's June 11th and 12th.
What the hell? Oh, they got it on 2 pages here.
Forgot about Sweet 16.
Oh, Moto City's in July. Pardon me.
I had those confused. I thought Moto City
I thought they were swapped.
Yep.
So Moto City's round 6, July 9th and 10th.
So then that's cool. We missed the latter part of July and August. That'll be nice. We'll be at the lake.
Yeah.
Or by the pool.
I'll be hitting that dirty 30.
Getting a good month and a half off there in the hottest part of the year, so that'll be good. Ponca in September, that'll be cool. It's been like the week after the National every year, so it's a good change of pace.
And then you never know rainouts where there's
right.
Do they have those scheduled already?
Well, right now they don't have built-in rain dates anymore. They quit doing that.
So who knows?
Yeah,
Nothing's got rained out, right?
Not yet, but we're in peak rainout season right now, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, welcome everybody to episode 17 of the Pit Racing Podcast. We got Chandler Hardzog in the house tonight, and we're going to be calling Bob Jandebeur here shortly to catch up with him and see how things are going to go down for this weekend at the round 3 of the Oklahoma State Championship Series. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
I forgot to turn my gas on and I was doing a backflip.
You never knew who might show up in the pro class.
I mean, it would have been a perfect pass, but
allegedly it would have been a perfect
yeah, it would have. Like,
We do what we do.
Yeah.
Ex quad god Chase Snap.
pit racing, pit golfing.
Pit racing.
Pit racing, boy.
Shit. Presented by SSI Decals, this is the Pit Racing Podcast coming at you right now.
Back at it again for another one. You know us, we like to come in and random a schedule as possible, and we're doing them back-to-back this time around. We were here just 2 weeks ago with Kate Burton on the Hoot Owl Bowl. We had everybody and their dog call in, and we loved every single minute of it. We need to do that more often.
That was definitely a fun one. I had a lot of fun on that.
Yeah, I know. And hopefully the listeners had fun listening to it. I've listened to it myself once already, and I was listening to a little bit of it on the way back just because it was cool to listen to people call in and hear the phone calls coming through the machine. I know we've called people a little bit in the past, but it's been kind of quick and dirty, so it was cool to do that.
Yeah, we are still new with that, so bear with us.
Yeah, had a couple technical difficulties, couple blank spots in there, but I don't think people really care. Usually if I'm listening to a podcast, I'm there to hear it. I ain't going anywhere, so. According to himself, when he rolled in tonight, we got a longtime listener of the podcast in here with us tonight, Mr. Chandler Hardzog, a.k.a. the usually a top 5 runner in the plus 25 class, giving pit racing a bad time every weekend this year in 2022. And,
shit, boy.
Oh, yeah, he's coming in hard now. Chandler, you know, I thought maybe, you know, you were going to be competition that was something we could handle beginning of the year last year, and then you just went on this exponential curve of progression pretty rapidly. We hit about round 3 or 4 last year, and next thing you know, I was having a really hard time catching up with you, and this year I haven't been able to catch up with you at all. So what's the deal on that?
I'm trying my hardest, but you know, arm pump is what's killing me right now.
So you're saying there's limiting factors?
Oh yeah, if I could get rid of my arm pump, I'd be golden.
Oh,
but
shit.
I've been trying. I mean, I still don't ride as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
just because of work, but I ride as much as I can.
Yeah. So you were you raced a lot when we were younger.
Oh, yeah.
Like I remember seeing you around the track all the time. You had the same number, 389.
Yep.
KTM 65s, and then
No, I had Cowies.
oh, you had Cowies.
Yep.
Really?
Never rode KTM.
Taking back. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was your buddy that we were talking about on Instagram
Yeah,
that rode
Brendan.
KTMs. Brendan
Yeah,
Clark.
Brendan Clark.
Yeah, he rode KTMs. That's right. Yeah, and then we raced. You were how old are you?
I'm 26.
You're 26. Okay, so you're my age. When do you turn 27?
March.
Okay.
So I just turned 26.
Okay. Yeah. So you're in between me and my brother because I remember you racing my brother's class more than mine. But did you take any time off between then and now? I mean, how long did you race for?
Man, I've really been racing solid my whole life.
Yeah,
since I was 6 years old.
You never took any time off, really?
I probably missed a few. I'd say every series I raced, but I may have missed a few races in between. But for the most part, I've been racing forever.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember.
So did you ever have any plans to like do it big time, or has it always just been kind of a hobby for you?
I mean, of course that's everybody's dream growing up, but you come to the realization that sometimes that's just a little far-fetched in this sport.
Yeah.
You got to dedicate everything to it.
Right.
And we just never really did that. I mean, we did the best we could, and once I got on the 80s, I was really pushing it and trying hard, but then I got hurt real bad, got a bad concussion, and took about, 8 months off probably. And then once that happened, it just kind of became a hobby, and I started riding, and that's when I really had the most fun with it.
Yeah.
And then this year and last year has been the most fun I've ever had racing.
That's awesome, man.
Did you do any nationals growing up?
I did a few Grand Nationals on 250s, but I never did it on like 85s or 65s or anything like that.
Like a Ponca?
It was the Grand National when they moved it to Norman.
Mm.
And then,
the NMA National.
Yeah, so then I did that.
How was that?
Oh, they were pretty good.
Really?
Oh yeah. One of them got rained out halfway through, but it was pretty good.
Yeah.
One year I got second, and then the next year I got third in the 250B. But yeah, they were pretty good. I mean, of course they were still battling because I was right when Ponca and Norman split the races.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you had half people going to Norman, half the people going to Ponca.
Right.
But there was still a pretty big crowd.
Yeah. How many, if you had to guess, how many entries you think there were at that race?
Oh, God. Just in my class, I think it was close to 35, 40 maybe.
Yeah.
Close. I mean, it was almost a full gate at Norman.
Yeah.
In my class that I was racing in. But so it was pretty big.
I never went to that. I've heard mostly poor reviews of that event. You're the first one that said it was a pretty good event. So
I mean, it's hard for me to dog on any track or anything I mean, you can't expect everything to be perfect.
Right.
So I'm the rider that, sure, there's things to gripe about every track. You can find anything about any track that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I'm just there to have fun and ride my motorcycle.
Yeah.
So I try to stay positive about everything.
Good. Yeah.
So it's hard for me to dog on any track too hard, but
yeah, we go back and forth here, which you know. Yeah. Sometimes we have things to bitch about.
I got to say that's a pretty good result. Second or third in B class at a national with 30 plus.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So good job on that.
And then I think the next year I won 250B in the state series. It was in 2015, so I don't know if that was the same year that I did that or not, but won 250B, and then I was racing 450B on my 250, and I think I would have won that if I would have stayed racing that every race, because I only raced it a handful of times that season, but so I think I would have won it if I would have stayed in it for the 450B, but I just focused on 250B that year.
Yeah. So how did you get into racing? Do you have any idea, or have you been doing it as long as you can remember?
So my dad and his buddy took me to a arena cross at the Lazy E. And I think I was...
That's a big stepping stone to start with there.
I think no. They just took me to watch.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I think I was 3 or 4 at the time, and they had the junior kids out there, the 65 riders, and I guess I kept telling them that I want one of those green bikes. I want one of those green bikes. And shortly after, I'd say, I mean, I don't know how long it was in between, but they surprised me with a little XR50. And they took me to I was at my grandparents' house, and they took me to their field, and I got on it, and I guess I gave it too much gas and shifted it into gear, and it wheelied on me, and I put it down, and I said, I think I'm going to go take a nap before I ride it. So I guess I went and took a nap, and then I came back out, and the rest is history. So that's how I kind of got started. And then my dad always rode growing up, but he never raced. And then I got on the XR50, rode that for a while. Then he jumped straight into 65s.
So you never raced the proper race 50?
No.
Neither did I.
He jumped me right into 65s. Took me to Draper, and he was on his 125. We were going through the trails. This is before I started like racing on tracks and stuff like that. But took me to Draper, and he got on the gas. And then I kind of lost vision of him and took a wrong path. And I guess I fell down into a creek and couldn't get my bike started, was crying because I couldn't find my dad. I was probably 6 years old at the time still.
Yeah.
And finally, he said it was getting dark, and he was just running through every trail that he could to try to find me. And I mean, obviously, he found me eventually. But so then there's that. And then I guess my very first race out at Moto City, I was too close to the gate, and so I was sitting there revving it up, ready to go, and when the gate dropped, I jumped, and the gate at the time, I guess, didn't flip forward. It just stuck, and so then I hit that and flipped over the bars, and I finished the race. But that was kind of a crazy start to my racing career, but I've loved it ever since. It's been my life.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a lot of people's first attempt at a race, hit the gate or something, loop out, something like that. I think everybody did that at least once.
Yep.
I noticed the gates at, just a sidetrack here, I noticed the gates at OMC don't flip forward because I tried to flip them up to do something when I was there racing, packing my gate, and they don't flip up.
Do they not? Mm-mm. I guess I haven't noticed.
Well, it was either Norman or Reynolds, but
No,
I think it was
Reynolds.
Was it Reynolds? Yeah. Okay.
I remember.
I
noticed it.
Cooperland was like that.
No flip.
Yeah, because I was on 80s. My gate didn't drop, and I just completely dumped the clutch. And, in my head, I'm like, oh, it's going to flip over. I'm going to be able to ride this out. But it just complete dead stop. Thought I'd tore some ACLs or something, but fucking hurt.
Yeah. I hit the gate at Moto City once, actually, when I was, first starting out racing 80 beginner class, which I raced 60s a few times, but really wasn't racing regularly back then.
Yep.
And then I raced Supernaw's Super Mini one time at Extreme World, and it was like double the bike that I originally, because my stock 80 that I had blew up, and he let me race his bike in the second moto, and I was hitting like every jump at TMX Extreme World back then on my 80, and then I go out on his bike and go to hit this jump I'd been hitting all night long, and literally go to 90 degrees over this triple. And I rode it out, but it was sketchy.
Man, I don't think I ever rode that track growing up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I did. I don't remember.
Have you ever rode it at all?
I don't think so.
No? Dude, it was... I don't want to talk shit on it at all, because they're trying really hard to bring it back to something awesome out there, the De Bruins that are running it now. But it was a really cool place, a lot cooler than it has been when we were young. It was, big jumps, decent dirt. I mean, race weekends, it would turn into a highway, dry, slick, and dusty. But like TMX Tuesdays or,
They're night races, though. The track stayed pretty good.
Yeah, the track was always good on night races. I mean,
where you could see.
Like they had 100-foot doubles and 80-foot triples and like a supercross style triple and then a step-up triple, kind of like at Reynolds. And like they always had like cool, unique stuff, big doubles out of corners and things like that. And then some...
And if you think back... It was exactly what you said, but how many times did the ambulance come? Each race, probably 2 or 3 times that night.
There's a lot of people that got hurt out there too.
That's what you get when you build a track like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loved it,
Right.
and it showed there was 300 entries on a Friday night race.
Yeah. Yeah, it was gnarly at sometimes. But the place changed ownership. It changed hands, 3 or 4 times over the course of like 6 years.
I think Eddie used to build it a lot back then.
Yeah.
And if you've rode very many 88 air tracks, they're big
gnarly.
jumps,
It's like
real steep.
Yeah, it was when Mitch owned it. He would pay Eddie to build the track.
You remember Fullerton's track that Eddie built?
Thing was a
beast.
It was a supercross track on a hill.
Yeah, that thing was a beast.
That's crazy though. You've never rode it.
Where is it?
It's
exactly
in Tulsa.
Is it the Tulsa track?
Yeah, right by the airport in Tulsa.
Okay, well then I've ridden. I just didn't know it by Extreme World, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
I just know it by the Tulsa track. Is how I call it.
Yeah,
but that's where
TMX.
I've ridden that because that's where I got my concussion.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know it as Extreme World. I just know it by Tulsa.
I think they
Tulsa
changed the
track.
name to TMX in like 2010.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, see, that's what I know it as, TMX.
Yeah.
Who changed it to that? The old white haired dude that had it for a long time. Did he change it?
When Mitch had it, it was Extreme World, and then
I think after Mitch it changed. I can't remember.
Billy Wiesner, his dad bought it.
David was the guy's name.
Didn't the
David.
Bakers used to run it?
Yeah, that's more recent. But like us three, I started there in 02. When did Supernal, you were what, 01?
I mean,
01, 02.
I was probably 9.
So yeah,
20
01,
years ago.
01.
Yeah, that's when I started
Anyways,
going out there.
we raced there every weekend. Went to practice Tuesdays
I don't know how many
we've probably been there
laps I have on that track.
yeah, I mean,
300 times a piece or more.
I've got a camcorder at my house. Me video and dirt bikes goes way back, but I've got a camcorder at my house that I've gotten like 06 maybe, and it's got a good like 6 hours of videos on it, and I think probably 3 of them are from Extreme World. You know, just a lot of laps and hours out there, and we would always go on Tuesday nights, and especially when we were in high school. Well, I was in high school; they were doing whatever they were doing, and
Shredding.
yeah, and we would go to Taco Bueno in Sand Springs right after on Tuesday nights, and yeah.
See, that's how it was for me, but with Moto City.
Okay.
Moto City had practice every Tuesday nights, races every Friday. It was either Friday or Saturday night, but I was at Moto City every week.
Yeah.
Every night with, like, Chase Marquet was there, Brendan Clark, Clayton McConville, like all of them guys, Andrew Bills. It was a fun time.
Do you remember Castile Clark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was from that area.
Yeah, Castile, and then who else would come out there? Hawthorne.
He lived right by there.
Yep, they would come out there quite a bit.
Yeah, it's funny you say Clay McConville. I don't know if he listens to this, but if he does, shout out Clay McConville. When I was at OU doing my bachelor's degree, I lived in a fraternity house, and we did rush and all that stuff, getting new guys every year. And one of my fraternity brothers comes over and he's like, "Hey, you need to come talk to this guy. He says he used to race dirt bikes, whatever." I'm like, "Well, shit, I probably know him."
Oh yeah.
And he comes and I walk in and I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's Clay McConville. What's up, dude?" We talked for like the next 20 minutes.
Heck yeah.
I don't know where he ended up joining, if he even joined the house, but it was cool to see him again. I hadn't seen him in years. Haven't seen him since either.
Yep. Yeah, me and Clayton go way back. We used to, the group was like me, Chase, Clayton, Brendan, Andrew Bills. That was like the main group. We all were at each other's house every weekend.
Yeah.
Riding every week together, hanging out at everybody's house, and going back and forth. Those were the days for sure.
Yeah. So you live in Edmond. Have you always lived in Edmond?
No, I grew up in Norman.
Okay.
So I lived in Norman until I was 15 and then moved to Edmond.
Yeah. So you OU fan?
Oh, no.
No?
Heck no. No. Go Pokes.
Oh, God damn it. I'm about to tell you to go home.
I hate
How can you grow up in
OU.
Norman and say some stuff like that?
Man, that's
ain't even right.
That's one reason we wanted to leave Norman.
Oh, God damn.
Yeah, we are not OU fans at all.
We're going to get off that subject. You're going to get wrecked in this room. So did you ever race at 59th growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Then? Yeah.
59th, yeah.
None of us ever really rode there because that was like the OKC crowd,
Yep. Yeah, I wish that track was still open.
Yeah. Well, pretty much everyone that's come in here that grew up around Oklahoma City has had rave, things to say about it.
I was still a little too young. To really remember it a whole lot. I was still on 65s, I think, when I was still riding it. But from what I can remember, I loved it. But Rodney also reminds me a lot of 59th, just because 59th would always try to make the track better. they would change it like every week. They would do different things to the track, make it run different directions. And so far, Rodney's kind of that. I feel like he's kind of like the next one that's like that. He changes the track all the time, changes directions, doesn't keep it the same for too long. But yeah, it was a fun track. That and Cooperland. Those are the two tracks that I wish were.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure everybody when they come talk about those two tracks are like, yeah, I wish it was still open. But
we talk about Cooperland all the time.
when I
R.I.P.
When I was in Stillwater going to school, I drove out to Cooperland just to the main gate to look at it, and it's a big old pond now.
That's what we heard. Yeah, we heard the canyon section is a pond.
Yep.
That's crazy to even think about.
Yeah, it's sad for sure. I think the tower and stuff's still there.
Really?
The scoring tower and stuff like that, it's still there. But
I feel like I remember someone saying that they had torn it down, but then I also heard someone say on one of these shows actually that it was still there. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was still there when I went.
Yeah.
But that was also several years ago.
Yeah. You went to school in Stillwater? Did you go to OSU?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to.
You said you're an electrician. Did you get your technical degree from OSU? I didn't figure.
No, I went to Oklahoma
It's a lot
State
more expensive to do that.
for a little while, and then got my associates, and then realized
Not for you.
school's not for me.
Yeah.
And then I went, and now I'm an electrician. So
It's good you realized that before you got all the way through 4 years of bullshit.
yeah, well, I wish I would have realized it sooner, but
Yeah.
everybody told me from growing up that I should just go do a trade
Yeah.
instead of go to college. But
That's the opposite of what I feel like a lot of our age group gets told.
yep.
So that's interesting to hear. I mean, there was no other route ever presented to me. It was college or nothing, which what I wanted to do for work, it required college. So I didn't ever look into anything else because I knew that's what I wanted to do. But yeah, usually with people like 25, 26 years old, they grew up here in their whole life. Like, oh, you got to go to college. That's how you're going to make a good living or whatever.
Yeah.
Which we all know now is bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I would have known that, listen to my parents. I mean, my dad's probably listening to this and going to be laughing, but I definitely should have listened.
What does he do?
He's retired now.
What did he do?
He was manager for Sherwin-Williams. He did sales rep, managing, ran stores, did the whole shebang at Sherwin-Williams. So he did that for ever since I knew him, like grew up and stuff. I think he did it for, I don't know, 25, 26 years, something like that. Now he's retired. Now he's just chilling.
Yeah.
Fishing every day.
Listening to our podcast.
Yeah, listening to the podcast, working on my motorcycle. Yeah, so
Loving life.
it's pretty cool. Yeah. I just give him the motorcycle and just let him do whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Has he always been a big fan of going to the races and stuff?
Oh, yeah. He's been doing it with me ever since. I mean, he's been my number one fan, my mechanic, everything.
Yeah.
The guy to chew me out for not riding good, throw my bike in the trailer, say we're loading up and selling it because I wasn't riding how I should have been, but
Hanging the boots up.
yep, tough love.
Yeah.
But it's all worth it. It's been good. I mean, racing has caused us to have so many memories and meet so many good people.
Yeah.
So it's all worth it for sure.
There's not much else like it, man.
No.
The racing culture. I feel like, I'm sure it's like this in all different forms of motorsports, but because pretty much every type of racing there is, you spend the whole weekend there in a camper and everyone kind of all the same group of people and stuff, whether it's stock cars or drags or dirt bikes or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Norman 2 weekends ago, and they were doing the drift cars.
Oh, yeah.
So I was practicing at Norman, and then the drift car started at like 12. I mean, it's a whole different vibe for sure. I mean, you got tons of people from Kansas, from Texas, from Missouri.
All coming to Norman.
All coming to Norman to do drift cars. And I mean, it got packed like a state race. I mean, it was packed.
That's awesome.
And it's a whole different group of people. It was pretty cool
You're
to
talking
see.
about like shifter carts?
No, like actual cars.
Car
like they
drift?
just
Where do they drift at? On the
go-kart
on the shifter
track.
cart track?
I've seen them out there. I've been there
Yeah.
before when they were running them, but there wasn't that many people there when I was
That's
there.
pretty cool.
Oh, it was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, me and my dad, after I got done practicing, watched it for hour and a half, 2 hours.
Was that on a Thursday?
No, it was Saturday.
Saturday?
No, it was either Saturday or Sunday, one of the two.
Yeah.
Can't really remember, but
Have you ever been out there on a non-prep day?
yeah. I was out there whenever it first opened, like brand new track.
Has Rodney always owned it?
Yeah.
I didn't know if someone else was different when they started it.
No, I think Rodney's always owned it, but the plan was I think he was going to have a drag car strip and all this stuff. And then when I was real little, I guess he came into my dad's store, and I guess they met and stuff, and he told him about plans that he had and everything like that, I'm pretty sure. But right after I moved from Norman is whenever he built the track.
Okay.
So I lived like 5 minutes from that track when I lived in Norman.
Yeah.
So we were hoping that one day he would. And then as soon as I leave and go up to Edmond, he builds the track. And I'm like, damn it.
You're still not too far in
No,
Edmond,
not too far, but it would have been a lot nicer to be 5 minutes from the track.
Well, we lived in Moore up until last April for like 2 years. And, yeah, it was 12 minutes or something like that from my house.
Yep.
15 minutes.
Yeah, that track has gotten a lot better for what it was when it started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was there when it was rocky and
Oh,
he
yeah.
was just trying to figure it out, but now it's one of my favorite tracks.
It's a good track. Yeah.
It's in a unique location.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better locations just because you're right in the middle of Norman. I mean, there's so much stuff to do if you're not a racer and you just want to come watch and stuff for a little bit. You don't have to go far.
Yeah.
To go see the races and stuff like that. So
I don't feel like that's a thing anymore. I don't feel like randos show up to watch the races, but I could be wrong. I feel like when I was
Arena cross.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit,
probably where it's
of
at.
arena cross.
That's about it.
I do feel like though when I was younger, you got more like general public showing up to watch races, but yeah, I wish it was still a thing.
yeah.
Moto's just not what it used to be. Too much TikTok.
Heck, I think it's getting better this year.
Goddamn millennials.
This year's been one of the bigger years, I think,
Yeah.
that we've had in a long time because it went south for a while,
Mhm.
and then now I feel like it's coming back up strong.
Yeah, I think right around when I went to college, the sport kind of went in the shitter for a little while.
I know, like my age growing up, there was a shitload of us that used to come to the track. But like, kind of when I quit, almost everybody else kind of quit too.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's probably, I don't know, at least probably 20 guys that were always at the race every single weekend, whatever, that kind of all just quit.
When did you like officially hang it up? Was it like 15?
I think my last serious-ish year, I was probably 21. And then,
21.
like, I went to Loretta's that year, pro class.
2012 was last year you went to Loretta's.
Yeah.
So
that was-
he didn't race 13.
After that, I remember it was like throwing whips at Sweet 16 and fucking around. And then I just slowly drifted away from not riding at all.
Yeah.
I remember I raced the state series in 2014 and ran the whole series, and he wasn't at any of them.
I don't even think I owned a bike in 2014.
Yeah.
And the series then was okay, but kind of to what you're saying, Chandler, is it was nothing what it is now. I mean,
Yeah.
it was, I feel like probably in the 300 entry range, where now we're in the 500s. So, I mean, nearing double what it was.
I could be wrong, but I feel like when I was 13, 14 years old, it was in the thousands in terms of entries.
I don't know.
Not thousands,
Yeah.
not thousands, not thousands plural, like up to a
Close
thousand.
to 1,000?
Yeah.
There was a lot of people, I know that, but I don't know. I can't really, you know what I mean? I'm not good at saying, like, oh, that's
That would
about
be
1,000
hey,
people.
Some good research. You said you got some free time coming up.
Yeah.
You can research it, see what the highest entry for one race at state series.
I know,
Yeah.
like,
Really? It'd be
That'd
interesting
be cool
to know.
Yeah, that'd
It
be
seemed
really cool
like
to know.
Yeah.
every gate, there was at least 20 dudes, it seemed like, back in the day. And then
Yeah.
you have, like, your beginners or whatever that are double stacked.
I want to. I'm sure we can find it, but like if you get on the state series website, I think 2010 maybe is the furthest you can go back.
What was
in terms of like results?
Well, let's try out our new TV.
Yeah, I'll
let's
pull
check
it
it out.
What was really cool back then, though, was, like, I mean, Cooperland always had some hitters that would show up, like factory dudes. But then Ponca, a shitload of people would show up to get track time in before the national.
Yeah, that's
so, like,
true.
every year at Ponca, there was multiple factory dudes there. But I remember, like, I've seen like every name at Cooperland. Villapotos, Alessi's.
Yeah, I remember Jason
like,
Anderson being
all
there
of
one
them.
year.
I remember watching Blake Wharton at
Wharton?
Cooperland.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, one of the funniest stories I got. So I was young. I was on Suzuki 65s, and back then I was the baddest dude there was.
You
Like,
were?
in my head, no one could beat me. Well, it was a good mindset
was,
to have.
yeah.
But I remember I was with Blake, or Blake was with me, or we were just at fucking Wellston together. Raynard's now, but it was Sooner State back then. Mm-hmm. But Blake's like, yeah, Blake Wharton's showing up. And I'm like, is he good? He's like, he's fucking fast. And I'm like, I got him. But I remember on the track, back then, Blake Wharton was a factory. He was on 65s, but his factory Suzuki team, whatever it was back then.
Team Suzuki.
Yeah, but so where I'm on the track, I'm doing my laps, and someone comes up on me on a factory bike. Or it had factory graphics on it, so I'm like, fuck, this is Wharton. So I start trying to shred, start riding like shit, and then the dude passes me. But it ended up being Briar Sample. But Briar Sample was pretty damn fast, and me and him were pretty good friends after that.
Yeah, I remember Briar really well. I think you told this story when Taryn was here.
Maybe, but yeah, I just remember because
remember we were talking about Wharton a lot.
If I wouldn't have lost that mindset though, I'd have been a factory dude.
That killed it that day.
It wasn't really that day. It was just growing up. But yeah, back then there was no one better.
Yeah,
I was the best. I set the mark.
Yeah, that's an awesome mentality to have. I don't know. I'd be totally honest. I don't know if I've ever had that mentality about anything.
It was dope for like a year, or maybe it was Briar that killed it that day.
Yeah, the furthest we can go back on the state series results is 2013, and when you look at 250 beginner, which is probably one of the higher entry
Novice.
classes, yeah, we could look at novice, I guess. 450 novice, 13. So
It was 13 dudes in 450 novice.
yeah, that's pretty comparable to how it is now at a lot of the
Sal
rounds.
Jr. in there.
Junior?
Is he?
Yep. Hunter Martin, Levi Gilliam.
Oh yeah.
You ride with him? Or
No.
oh, he's Southern Oklahoma. Isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, if we could
I
look
know
up
he used to run with us
2004.
couple years, but
I
he
know,
hadn't
it'd
showed
be
up this
awesome.
year. He used to always give me a good run.
Oh shit! I just thought of something. So I'm pretty sure the state series website used to be on a website called MX States. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah,
I know
remember
that website.
Yeah.
but
That
I
sounds familiar.
So y'all keep talking.
I remember it when I first started back in 2002. It was like you could go to that website and it would show you all the tracks in each state.
I'll be damned. Rodney bought that domain.
Wow. Yeah, it went to Oklahoma Motorsports Complex.
That's
Nice.
hilarious.
Is that his like up to date website?
Yeah,
And he's got Millsaps on there on
Yep.
Hondas.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. That's old.
That's his website. That's crazy that he bought that domain. I wonder if there's anything.
Yeah, I remember that website well.
Mm-hmm. When you Google MX States, it pulls up states in the country of Mexico.
I have no idea how you'd find those. Or
You
how many
could probably type in like Oklahoma State Series 2006 results.
You might
and
get
find
something.
it somewhere.
We should call Marshall, see what he says.
He would have it on deck.
That would be really cool to find out, though.
Yeah, no, honestly, yeah. If we could somehow find out where the peak was and what the numbers were at,
I feel like if
Let's just call Marshall Plumb.
all right, I'll give you guys a little
that's a
example.
good idea.
If are you already calling him?
Go ahead,
Don't
go
call
ahead.
him. So this is like an example of what it used to be like, as well or as much as like a track in the parking lot. So Ascot, you know how Ascot's laid out.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the top parking, and then the bottom parking. There's a field in that bottom parking area too, but I would say it probably from where the edge of it stops now. If you took it back like another 500 yards and easily 500 yards wide, maybe 1,000. But back in the day at that state race, everything right there was full of people. I remember that year too, because I think that they didn't race it every year back then. But I remember Will Hahn was there. Him and Corey Green were battling, but I think Hahn got him. But they were on like 80s, so that's been a long time ago.
Yeah, that was probably
I was on 60s,
02 or 03.
something like that. But I don't know. I know there used to be a lot more people, but I don't think it was the thousands.
Yeah, I don't think it was in thousands either.
Could have been,
I think
though.
he's getting a little excited.
Maybe. We'll see. See if Marshall answers.
Boss racing.
Hey, Marshall, it's Austin Dixon. You're on the Pit Racing Podcast.
What are you doing, bud?
Not much. We're just sitting here talking dirt bikes. Hey, we had a question for you. So back in the mid-2000s, we're trying to remember like what kind of entries that the series saw back in those days. Do you remember?
Likely around the 500, 550 mark.
Okay.
like the early 2000s, there were 650 at the first round, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you also got to remember back then we didn't have 10 tracks either, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was only a couple tracks, so if people wanted to race, man, that's the only place they had to go. There was no place to go ride or nothing, you know?
Right. Okay. Yeah, we couldn't remember. I know, I had talked to somebody about it and, remembered it was high, maybe a little bit higher than it is now, but it sounds like we're getting back to what it used to be, so that's good to hear.
No, we're maybe, I would say we're better, only in the aspect because back then, like I said, we got to remember we didn't have all the tracks. So like right now, if somebody wanted to, if you wanted to ride, you had to race because you didn't have a place to go ride at.
Yeah.
So now all these tracks, the same weekend as the state series. So it kind of puts it in. I think we could be over 650 to 700 if none of the tracks were open that weekend,
Yeah.
Which would be pretty astonishing numbers when you sit and think about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll take our 550 right now on the average and hopefully keep close to that,
Yeah. That I was going to say, that's about what we've done the last two rounds, isn't it? About 550?
565 and 555. So
that's pretty damn good.
So, yeah. No, it's not good enough for me though, bud.
Oh yeah. Of course we always got to keep building.
Yeah. I want 600. I mean, 600 to 625 would be a very good goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and obtainable too, not like we're dreaming at that, because you sit and take up 550, that's only 50 more people. That could be 100 or more entries, 45 people,
Right. What do you think we got to do to hit that number?
Well, I know what we got to do, but the track's all right.
Yeah, you don't have to air. You don't have to air anybody out if you don't want to.
No, I don't. I'm very, very good on. I think that in order to make it really high for open for practice, it would force those people to go somewhere. And even if half of them went and raced, we'd be close to 700.
Yeah.
So it's not rocket science to me. It's just a matter of making everybody understand that if they weren't open, it would help them throughout.
Yeah, throughout the course of the year, the numbers would be higher on average.
Yeah, on everywhere. And I mean, a track can say what they want, but I don't think they're making. When they have 50 people on a weekend, they're not making enough money to justify being open in my books. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is something we've talked about before. Do you feel like the people that are skipping the state race to go ride those practice days, do you feel like they would really go racing anyway, even if that track wasn't open?
A percentage of them would. I'm not saying everybody would.
Yeah.
But I think a strong percentage of them would because they want to go somewhere, right? So
right.
If there's nowhere that's a good track. Face it, our series has some of the best tracks there is, right? And
right.
So if you want to ride a good track, you're going to go. I mean, that's how I look at it. I know some people think differently, but I mean, your beginner people, if they had a place to go, they would go.
Yeah.
I mean, sit back and think when you first started racing, if you wanted to race, you had to go to a racetrack, okay?
Right.
And now if you want to go ride your dirt bike, there's 30 places every weekend you can go ride it.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have those 30 places, I think it would make a big difference,
Yeah. Yeah, that's very possible.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's my speculation, but I think that I don't think it's too far out of reach at that,
Yeah. For sure.
So,
You been staying busy, going to Supercrosses and all that?
oh yeah, man, we're out of control, honestly. But it's good. I mean, us going to the state races, I think helps our business, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll be there. I won't be there at Bob's on Saturday, but I'll be there Sunday. I got to fly in Saturday night after Denver again. So
right.
It's one more to do that, and then they're done, you know? So,
yep.
Yeah, how's everybody? I've been listening to some of the podcasts. You guys doing a great job as always, man.
Appreciate that, Marshall. Yeah, things have been good.
I know you got that Chase Snap guy sitting beside you. He's a little bit squirrely, but we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, he's always here for comedic relief. That's for sure.
We're going to call him his new nickname, Fork Seal Sally.
Hey, as long as I can get away from the quad god, I'd be happy.
There you go. Who's your guest tonight?
We got Chandler Hardzog in the house tonight.
Oh, man. Well, we got Fork Seal Sally and we got Trader, man.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
Hey, speaking of fork seals, don't mean to cut you off there. Speaking of fork seals, I think Supernal, he just showed up with his bike that's dirty from Gold Rush back in November and expects me to get it in shape for this weekend. And I said, I think you're going to, at first glance, I said, you're going to have to go see Marshall. These seals are blown.
You tell them to bring it in, man. We'll take care of them.
Yeah.
Who's going to be man in the shop on Saturday at Bob's?
What's that?
Who's going to be running the truck at Bob's on Saturday?
My little guy Hayden's going to be there, and Armando Furr, boyfriend for Lily Williams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be there to change the tires and do that kind of stuff for me. So
yeah, I got some fresh rubber ready to go on.
You got it. We'll be there, man.
Yeah, I need some too. So I think that's where I'm stopping first thing.
There you go. Stop by, man. We'll take care of you. We won't call you Trader no more.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got a cool story about when I was doing the Nationals with you. So I was at Nationals and my clutch basket blew up and split my case on my motorcycle. It was either my case or just the clutch basket or the housing of the clutch or something like that. But we ended up driving down to Stillwater from Norman, and then Marshall put a whole new clutch basket in it and everything like that, did the whole works on it. And then we got to my house, and then he told us to run it and then put fresh oil in it, run it, put fresh oil, keep doing that to get all the metal shavings out. Well, we got a metal shaving stuck in the motor. Couldn't get it out, and he drove to my house in the middle of the night, worked on it till like midnight that night, him and my dad at my house working on my motorcycle, got it ready for me the next morning, and then I went and raced. So that was just a cool story that I got from the memories. So,
well, we always have, with you for sure. I can remember your dad bringing your little KXs when your sisters were just, they were like 2 or 3 years old, if that, at the time.
Oh yeah.
So always good memories, my friend, with all you guys, actually.
Yep. Yeah. We know you're capable of doing that kind of kindness for people, so we're proud to represent you here on the show.
Yeah. Well, we all have our good and bad days. So I guess as long as we have more good days than bad, we're doing good, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. I'm probably gonna bring my rear shock up to you next week, so hopefully you got a slot for me.
Maybe next week or the week for sure. When Supercross is over with, it's gonna be like way better. But we get it in and get it out. You know that. We'll take care of you.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
If I got to stay till midnight, man, I can still do it. Those days are getting few and far between now. The old man sleep, but
yeah, well, it's not an emergency, so we'll try to get it in there when it works for you.
Yeah, we'll get it in and get it out, and I'll see all you guys see all you guys over there on Sunday, and hopefully everything goes smooth.
Yep.
Have you guys looked at the weather forecast or?
Oh, you know me. That's part of my job, so I'm always looking at the weather forecast.
So, Mr. Forecast Man, what's it looking like?
It looks like Friday we could get some severe Friday evening, but then I think beyond that we should be good.
Oh, good. I'm going to take my trailer over there Wednesday afternoon. So,
yeah, it seems like Bob's is always good for a severe thunderstorm. So,
yeah, a tree or two falling down and all the good stuff. But maybe that'll, tracks can always use a little bit of normal, natural water. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about. Maybe that'll just put some more moisture on top of things Friday night, and then we'll be good for the weekend.
Well, cool. I appreciate it. I'm just sitting here, believe it or not, cleaning my truck that hasn't been cleaned in don't know how many years, since maybe a year because it's only a year old. So,
yeah,
but
we know you better than that. You keep your stuff top notch.
No, my truck's been neglected, man. The car's been getting all the love, and the truck's been getting left out. So I give it some love today.
Something's got to give, right?
Yeah, that's right, man. So, well, I'm gonna get going back here. I thank you guys for the call. Hopefully, I can make it over there again and get on the show and discuss some more fun times. And if you guys put it out there that I appreciate each and every one of the state members from making the series grow to what it is, and also Marshall's Racing. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you, Marshall. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, there. See you later, Forksville, Sally, and Trader. You guys have a good night.
See ya.
We'll see you Sunday.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Always good talking to Marshall.
I knew that was coming. I knew he was going to say that.
What, you run it because you're running someone else's suspension?
Yeah, factory connection. I tried them out this year on my new bike. I got that new 450 at the end of last year, and timing just worked out best for them, and I got it done the same day, so I got it done with them. And
so is that bike a 22 or 21?
22 Works Edition.
Was your old bike a 450?
Yeah, it was an 18.
How much different is it?
I'll tell you the difference. He went from not beating me to beating me.
I mean, he was coming on. You didn't ride last year.
Yeah.
He was coming on pretty strong last year.
Yeah. So at Ponca was my first race back last year, and I believe I beat you first moto, but you were close.
That was my first race on that new bike.
Yeah, and it was my first race back after a year off with my knee. But I remember he was close, and I was like, at the end, I was like, whoa, who's this right behind me? And then second motor, if you recall, Supernal, you took me out when I was in the lead. So that was that.
I mean, I think you...
But at every race after that, I'm pretty sure you beat me.
I mean, it's a night and day difference between the two bikes.
I thought I got cleaned out last year. I thought someone landed on the back of me.
So Ponca, I was in first, you were second, and you took me out. We both went down in the corner because you cut me off, and we both went down.
You're probably ramrodding it again.
Cole was drunk. He didn't remember.
I think I still got a damn bent clutch lever from that.
Let's see here. Here's the standings for last year.
That's the overall standings?
Yeah.
What race was Ponca?
I think I went.
And this is crazy. Look how few people were actually entered last year in over 25.
I got a flat too.
That's not the...
God, my first races were bad.
I'm not even in that list. So what is
this is weird. Maybe total points only.
Oh, because you got to run a certain amount of races to get.
Yeah, that
qualify.
may be what that is. I don't know. I don't know why it's not showing everybody that entered. That's weird. But
go to finish positions.
Finish positions. Let's see. Yeah, so Chandler 8-5-3-3-5-2-3. Yeah, so I beat Chandler round 1.
Yeah, round 1 was a bad one for me.
Finished right behind him round 4, and then spanks my ass in every round after that.
How's Bad Brad looking this year? Now that he's got
fast.
New title.
He's fast.
Dude, he's surprisingly fast every freaking weekend.
Yeah.
Reynolds is his specialty.
I always am so surprised.
I think he's gotten a little bit faster than last year because there was a few rounds last year where I either beat him or, was right there with him. And the last 2 rounds, he's been blowing my doors off.
From what I can remember, last year, when I say last year, I'm talking about 2 years ago. Last year, obviously, raced one race. But 2 years ago, I think I want to say I beat him every race except for Reynolds.
Did you?
Or maybe one other.
Yeah.
But he was always close, and we battled.
Mm-hmm.
But then Reynolds this year, it was just like he has my number there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I went 4th at round 1 last year. He got 7th. And then round 2 is where I crashed, so they showed me 17th overall there. And then round 4, I went 4th, and Brad got 5th. And then from there, Brad beat me for the rest of the series. But, 8th, and I was 8th, Brad was 7th. And, yeah, so there was, several rounds where I was either in front of him or right behind him. But then, there's been other races where he just leaves me in the dust. It's crazy. I don't know if that's me, that I fall off that bad at some rounds, or if he's just that much better at some rounds.
You like to pull 180s.
So I think
me?
You'll do your first round or the first moto. You look like you've rode a bike twice, but then second moto you're shredding.
I do tend to be a second moto guy.
I know sometimes though. I think
is.
It was it's either in your head or something, but you'd ride like a bitch in plus 25, but then shred in novice.
Oh, last year for sure.
More focused on the novice.
Last year for sure, yeah. I was definitely more focused on the novice class, but I also had way more confidence in the novice class. My mentality was a lot better. I'm working on it. What are you pulling up here?
I was just looking at results versus points. I think when you hit points, it cuts out all the people that didn't.
So I was looking at the full series. That's what I was.
Yeah, but I think it cut out because it didn't show me at all. I think it cuts out people that didn't race enough to qualify at the end.
Yeah. So what, you're pulling up Ponca here from last year?
Well, I was trying to find. Oh yeah, that's Ponca.
So I can click on. What do you want to see?
I was just. Oh, there it is. Oh no, Chandler, you beat me. You beat me at Ponca. That's right. Yeah, I was wrong.
You went 4-9 because you went down second moto.
I remember now. It was first moto I got 4th. Who was 5th the first moto? No, Mason was behind me. I guess my memory's is bad, but yeah. So you basically you've had my number ever since I got hurt.
Yeah, I think I got a flat.
We're gonna keep it that way.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
Damn, look at that. You've been in every series all the way back to 13. That's as far back as the results go. Been steady ripping.
Oh, that's me, huh?
Yeah, that was you. I don't know.
Oh, so you can click on rider and it'll show.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
I've got.
Mine will only be the last. I think
I've got all kinds of results going back to 2005, but they're not on here because for some reason they don't have that repository.
2020, I think, was the only year I've ever done every state race.
2020.
Yeah, that was the first year.
You didn't do them all back in the day?
No.
Well, because there'd be qualifiers.
I'd always miss for something.
Yeah.
Different races.
Right.
Yeah, it was the only year I think I've ever done every race.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think if it comes down, I don't know. We'll have to talk to the crew chief Pitt. But if it comes down to Gold Rush or a race, I'm going to be up for debate this year. Because I realized how shit Gold Rush is when you're not in any type of shape.
It is rough.
It was an intense battle to finish. I pit rolled in last lap. I'm like, you trying to do another one? He
yeah,
said,
you're trying to get me to do 2 laps in a row. I said, no, sir.
But it was the most brutal I've seen it, though, ever.
Have you ever raced Gold Rush, Taylor?
I have not.
I haven't either. I've been to watch a few years, but I've never raced
you got to try it, Austin. If there's not a race that weekend, you have to do it.
My first years going out there, the track was way cooler, though. They had this cedar section they don't have the land or something anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. Last year it wasn't very fun.
Last year would have been a good year for me to do it because I had my bike wasn't brand new. I'm probably going to have a new bike when Gold Rush comes around this year, and I'm not trying to thrash that thing in the woods.
You can ride mine.
You bought a bike to ride it, right?
You're right, but
yeah, the last bike before this one, first ride I ever rode it was Gold Rush.
But when you ride,
I did load it.
After Gold Rush, you need new graphics.
Oh, yeah.
You need new tires.
Have you not seen my bike? It looks prime.
You're probably going to need fork seals.
So yes, to Marshall's, bike was brand new. Never rode it. Raced at Gold Rush, loaded it up. Fork seals were blown, and I had to get new fork seals after that weekend. But it was just from all the. It was a complete mutter though. It was the worst I've ever rode that track.
Yeah,
and it was so all that dirt just worked its way up in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of the 3-hour race, I raced 2 hours and 15 minutes of it myself.
Who was your partner?
Jake Bishop, and he quit after.
Oh, that's right.
He didn't even finish the lap. And
God damn it, Bishop.
cut the track and came in, and I had to do the rest.
Has he been riding?
I saw him at Norman, but I don't think he was riding.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
He was at Raynard's, but his bike messed up.
Oh, maybe that's where I saw him. Maybe it was at Raynard's. I can't remember. I think Swaggart sent us a message. Oh, that was just to the group chat. Never mind. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, so it sounds like, based on what Marshall said, we're pretty close to what numbers used to be back in the day. And I don't know where I heard that number of close to 1,000 entries, but it was obviously way off.
How many does Loretta's pull in?
Oh, God.
Well, I think it's 42 per class. How many classes are there?
Fuck, a lot.
Plus a few alternates that show up just in case.
Imagine Loretta's if
there's probably
there wasn't
close to 30
qualifiers.
classes. I'd say like 28 maybe. I don't know, look it up. But what really is amazing is look at total number of entries that try to qualify for Loretta's. If you took up like everybody from every area,
yeah,
that'd be a pretty amazing number. Chandler, have you ever tried for Loretta's?
I have not. That's my biggest regret of racing, that I've never done Loretta's. So I think maybe next year I might train and go ride, try to do the plus 25 class, just so I can go once before I start before I get kids and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well
try
it once. That's our biggest regret.
Yeah,
is never doing that. But
it's funny. Me and Supernaw, when we were 19 or so, after he raced it, a couple times, that we always talked about that once we turned 25, basically when he was done racing like serious, he said, once we're 25, we'll both go race it together. And at that time, I was confident I can make it. And now I'm like, so now, especially, where I'm at, with 2 kids and the business, and I don't, there's no way.
Here's something crazy though.
I don't ride enough, fitness, just the time really.
So I was talking to Taryn about this same thing, and I was like, man, now that I'm not racing novice anymore, I just don't know that it's ever going to happen. Maybe like plus 35 or something like that. I don't know. But he's like, dude, have you looked at regionals from like Northern California? There was 4 people there last year. All 4 of them went.
Yeah, you just got to find the right ones.
Yeah. So I don't know. It depends on how dedicated you are. You want to make that 20-hour drive out to Northern California?
Yeah, and I'm going to go out there and get 41st place.
For that regional? Yeah. You show up for the race and fucking 40 people are in your class.
And man, growing up, I would just see all these fast riders that you knew were just the top dogs in your state and everything like that. They go to Loretta's and they get 15th, 20th.
Get their doors blown off.
I'm definitely that guy.
Perfect example right here.
and then it just kind of just doesn't make you have any motivation for it. You're just kind of like, well, crap, if I can't beat him here at our state, then there's no way that I'll do good in Loretta. But that's no excuse. But
this is the wrong attitude to have about Loretta's. But I would go to that race like strictly to go to that race. Like I'd do the best I could while I was there.
Oh, for sure.
Like
just for the experience.
I wouldn't go there expecting to win a title.
Yeah, for
you'd
sure.
be happy to take off.
I'd be happy to get there and wear my bib and ride the track.
And get a clean moto.
Like get some gate drops and try to get a good start and see what I can do.
Yeah, that's all I would go for if I ever go. I mean, my plan is to maybe try to go one of these days, but I'm just gonna go have a blast and experience it.
I've never given it like a proper effort. I mean, I did race a regional like 3 years ago, but
I was gonna say I've given it 2 proper tries. One in C class, didn't make it. Next year, moved to B class, didn't make it. And I honestly
tried on the 2-stroke too.
Yeah.
That's a bitch of a class.
But I think that I ran B and 2-stroke that year. But, man, the regional is a whole nother ball game. I think we've talked about this when me and Supernaut left that. I think it was Mount Carroll, Illinois.
Yeah.
The drive home, we basically just like licked our wounds and talked about how bad we suck.
Yeah.
For me, it was always weird. It's like when I rode good, it was easy. But when I don't know if it was just the tracks in my head, something, but it wasn't happening those couple of years. But
yeah,
like not the last time I went, but the time before that, like I was winning my regional. You know what I mean? Before it was like I never rode a dirt bike before at the regional.
Yeah. It's weird, dude. Sometimes you get in that flow.
It all went wrong for me. I think this is where my career was destined to go to shit.
I know what you're talking.
Not work, but like a long time ago at a ski slope resort place, they had this dirt bike track. It was fucking badass, like the track that they had on this hill. But I was on Suzuki 60s, and the third moto I was going in, setting third. And that race, I got a pretty good start, but I hit this rut. It's too damn deep, and I got stuck, like bottomed out. And I think I went to like dead last from that point, and I come back up, but I just didn't make up enough positions. But if I would have made it that year, like that young on 60s, it would have changed my path, and I would have had that experience at that young of an age. But yeah, I think that's where it went to shit, and it stayed shit pretty much.
Yeah. I remember it being a big deal the first time you made it. Like, I think your dad or your mom like called my parents and were like, we made it. You know,
I mean, I tried for a lot of years. I don't know what, maybe 12 to 13 or something.
Yeah,
the first year I went.
2007. Yeah,
I was wrong. So I thought you were going to say where it changed, which is once I tell you this, you may agree, but you remember the year? I think it was 2009, because you didn't go to Loretta's in 9.
When I broke my arm.
Yeah, when you broke your arm at the regional, or maybe it's an area, but I feel like that year was when you were in B class. Like your prime in B
I was
class.
shredding that,
and you were on the Hondas.
That was a shit year to break my arm because I felt like I was going fast that year on pretty shitty bikes too.
Yeah, but I feel
that
like
was the white Hondas, right?
Yeah, but I feel like you were comfortable.
I had confidence. I ain't saying the bike was shitty, but it's just like that was my practice bike. That was my race bike. I rode
2 bone stock bikes with 70, 80 hours on them.
That 250 needed to go in the fucking trash, but
it did, dude.
I loved riding slow. I got to a point though where I hated riding 250s so much, it was ridiculous. And I got that demo bike, and I got 2 demo bikes. My grandpa bought me a brand new bike, and that was the only bike that I ever had that we went straight to like engine work.
That was a good
the
day.
Engine work we did made it slower and shittier. Like I think we put pro circuit cams in it, and it wasn't too long, and I think we put stalkers back in it.
Yeah.
But like the bike, there wasn't nothing special about the bike. I think I had the cams, a pipe. I think that was about it. I don't know, maybe.
But it was the first time you would roll up to a big race and have an actual fresh bike. Like it wasn't just a roached out bike.
And I put my 07 suspension on that bike.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because the air forks were so shit.
Didn't somebody protest you at a qualifier?
Seemed like that may have happened.
It was somebody out of California.
Like get your 07 suspension off that 2012,
because it was when they switched
to
the single fork function forks, and you put your old shit on there.
It was single function fork, and one of them was air. It's the same design as the KTM has now, but it was way worse.
About at that point though, like I know back in them days, going to an area regional, those dudes 250S were so like dialed and fast, and mine was so fucking slow, and I was pretty big, in my opinion, for a 250. So it was like...
Yeah, you were weighing like 150, 155-ish, maybe?
Something like that, but I don't know. I just know that 450s was where I needed to be.
Yeah. What do you got?
So I sent Dylan Ray a Snapchat. I sent a Snapchat out to a few of our friends of Chandler over here, and Dylan Ray sent one back. He said he used to kick my ass so bad on 65s.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
So to answer Supernow's question about entries at Loretta's, it's 1,512. They have 30. They have 36 classes, 42 riders in each class. So that's
So you could easily probably triple that on the amount of people that try to make it.
Oh yeah, easily. I know when
probably
I
more
when I went to that
that.
regional at Ponca 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was. 250C stock had, I think, 92 entries.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I know you get in the other classes, like the 50 and the plus 50 and women's, the numbers are smaller, but
yeah,
I'd say on average,
novice class would
still be
the two biggest
triple
classes
that number.
for sure. I think
so. Say 5,000 people try to make it.
Yeah, I think 450 novice had 70 something entries, and then 250 was 90 something. So they had heat races for the first moto.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like they had 2 divisions, and whatever you scored in that first division is what your points were for the next one. Which, if you do really well in that first division, it can set you up pretty good, but that's a if. That's like at Ponca National, they had runoffs for was it Vet Open? I think it was. Yeah, it had to be, because I know the first moto I got like 7th or 8th or something, and then second moto I was like 20th. Because they had the split class.
I want to say the biggest race I've ever been in, like entry wise, was Minios.
Really?
I think Supernova. What year did we go? 2010.
I think so.
When I had the Suzuki, I want to say there was in 250C, I had 3 heat 1, 2, and 3 with like 20 plus in each one to try to make it.
You were shredding at least.
No, I did good. Yeah, I was in contention for championship and just
probably would have had it.
Yeah, yeah. The Ponca National used to have a lot of divisions like that back in the day when it was the NMA race. I remember racing 80 junior one year, and I think there was 3 divisions for the first moto.
The year since Rollo lapped you?
Yeah, the year since Rollo lapped me. It's funny, there's a picture of me on the finish line with Cincerillo, like in the air behind me, and my mom used to always joke, finish right in front of Cincerillo.
She's not wrong.
Yeah.
Finished right in front of him.
Yeah.
I remember like back then in like those 80 classes, you'd have like Webb and Cincerello or whatever, and them two would be so far from the pack.
Yeah.
Like 3rd and 4th would be like shredders, but they'd be so far in front of them, like it was retarded.
I got pictures of Coop from Loretta's videos of Coop from 2009 at Loretta's, and yeah, he's way gone on a CRF 150.
Yeah, he was a 150 guy.
Yeah, and then Alexander Fry was a shredder that year too in Cole's class, and he was way gone. Yeah, Loretta's, I don't know, it's something I'd love to do, but it's so much money, so much time, so much effort.
Yep.
That's
one of the reasons I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time, money.
Yeah. Not to mention, like the last 3 years, we pretty much dedicated all of our extra money to racing.
Yep.
And my wife is like, "Can we go on a vacation, please?"
So, Hurricane Mills, Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going on a vacation this year, and because she asked me at the end of the year last year, she's like, "Are you going to try to go to Loretta's again?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't know." She's like, "If you're not dead set on it, I want to go on a vacation." I'm like, "All right, we'll do that then."
Yeah.
I mean, if I was you, I'd wait until you could kind of fill it out and see when the time was right. Because right now, I mean, I just don't think plus 25 is a reality.
No, I agree.
Unless you found something like Taryn said,
yeah,
something like that. But I mean, plus 25.
I'm not even running top 6 at the state races, so
plus 25 is retarded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I was really impressed with how good Taryn did. I thought that was, I mean, like a 9th, 10th, whatever.
I think he did better than that, actually.
May have. I mean, I think
it was like 6 or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure he got 6.
He was like top 3.
If his stamina was there, I mean, I think a potential podium,
Yeah, I think he was running like 3rd.
But, I mean,
and then throughout the race.
You know how fast fucking Taryn can go. So,
yeah.
But
it's like he hit that ski jump like a boat getting on plane. Remember him saying that?
I can't remember. Who was he talking about?
He was talking about himself.
Oh.
He was talking about hitting that jump in the middle, that they were launching this past year.
Oh, yeah, in the sand.
Yeah. And he's like, the first time I hit that, it was like a boat trying to get on plane. That front end was just up there. Oh, shit, that was funny. All right. We're calling Bob Jandebeur at 8:30. It's 8:25, so let's roll to a couple commercials real quick, and we'll be right back.
Looking thrashed right now? Those beautiful graphics you used to send pictures of to your buddies are looking roached out, and you need to head over to SSI Decals. SSI Decals is our choice at Pit Racing for graphics on all of our bikes because they continue to set the standard for aftermarket graphics in the off-road vehicle industry. They carry a complete line of graphics kits for MX bikes, quads, side-by-side, sport bikes, snowmobiles, you name it, they make graphics for it. The kits are made from highly durable, ultra-pliable, wreck-resistant vinyl, and they're easy to apply. Their triple-layer, aggressive 3M brand adhesive will not come off, and it'll hold up to even the most unforgiving conditions. So if you need to freshen up your bike for this upcoming race season, head over to ssidecals.com, and they'll get you hooked up. If you've listened to this show long enough, you'll know that I love to talk about suspension, but we know a guy that knows a hell of a lot more than I do, and that's Marshall Plumb over at Marshall's Racing. Getting your suspension dialed in is one of the most important parts of being comfortable on your dirt bike, and getting your forks and shock revalved to your weight and riding ability can literally shave seconds off your lap times. Marshall's done the suspension on all of the Pit Racing bikes, and one of the great things about Marshall is that he's always available for a phone call if you need help getting something figured out. With decades of experience in the motocross industry with both professionals and amateurs alike, you can't go wrong with Marshall's Racing. Give Marshall a call today at 405-338-8167 and get your bike dialed in. If you're looking for a new set of wheels in 2022, then look no further than Stillwater Power Sports in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Stillwater Power Sports is one of the top dealerships in the Southern Plains, and they're a locally owned family business that prides itself on putting the customer first. They carry a variety of products such as motorcycles, ATVs, side-by-side, scooters, watercraft, go-karts, just to name a few, and they're authorized manufacturers of Yamaha, Polaris, Can-Am, KTM, and more. Head up to Stillwater Power Sports today and let them know the Pit Racing Boy sent you up there to get the best deal possible on a new machine.
All right. Got the round 3 of the Oklahoma State Championship Series coming up this weekend at Jandebeur's Motorsports Park.
Bob's.
Bobby's.
Gender Bob's.
And I'm going to give Bob a call here in just a minute to see what's been going down out at the facility.
You know what's funny? Like how I know that place has recognition?
What?
Anybody I meet, like, you know, you talk to people at work, you know, somehow, one way or another, dirt bikes and I race them is going to get brought up eventually. But they're like, yeah, that place Jandebeur's.
Yeah.
Like, you ever heard of it? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he's done a really great job of advertising the track. Like he has, you know, radio commercials and stuff in Tulsa and all. I mean, that same ad we run here is like a radio commercial that they run.
Anybody that just bought a bike or they kind of ride dirt bikes, they're going to Bob's.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a perfect place to go for it.
It is. No, I like his model that he's got going there. It's friendly to everybody.
It's a clubhouse.
Right.
And you can rent them, right?
Yeah, you can rent dirt bikes there too. You can't do that anywhere else.
People
I know
who don't
that.
even have them can go ride and see what it's like. And
It's cool. Like if you go to Colorado and you want to ride downhill mountain bikes, like there's places you can go and rent a downhill mountain bike.
Yeah.
You know, because you really, I mean, to do that the right way, you need to drop some cash on a bike.
Well, I mean, a downhill bike's more expensive than a dirt bike, so it's the same.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like
you're not going to buy a dirt bike to go try it out.
You're going to spend, you know, at least $3 or $4 grand on a good downhill mountain bike to ride something like that.
Base level.
Yeah. And so the fact that you can go there and rent that to have proper equipment to do that is cool. And, you know, to ride a dirt bike, you need to spend a minimum of $3 or $4 grand on a dirt bike. I mean, nowadays a 140 is $4 grand. So, you know, the fact you can go there and rent it and get your feet wet a little bit.
Adventure level.
Yeah. Get your feet wet a little bit. It's pretty cool.
Gets new people into the sport.
Yep.
Yeah, and he caters to the kids. Like he rents Stasics, which that's what my boy's riding. Striders, I think now also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the kids nowadays, if you don't start on one of those, you're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, for sure. So. All right, let's see what Bob's up to.
Yeah, hello.
Bob Jandebeur, you're on the Pit Racing Podcast. What's going on?
Chilling here with my dogs looking across the park.
So you getting things ready for this weekend or what? What's going on?
Yeah, we are. I think the weather's going to cooperate, and after getting everything kind of dialed in from what I think we got our list all made up. Going to knock it out, man.
You got a to-do list? Is that what you're talking about?
List of things to do.
Yeah. So what's been going on down at the national track? I know you. I talked to you earlier today. You said you hadn't made any major changes, but did you do anything special to get it ready for this weekend or anything like that?
We're just kind of waiting to rip it on Wednesday, till it on Thursday, water it Friday, and ride it on Saturday.
Yeah. What's some of the expectations for this weekend? You got so far we've had
from the calls. Yeah, from the calls we're getting, we're going to be filling this place up. So move-ins at 5 o'clock. I'll get everybody settled in. Saturday, 8 o'clock practice, races at 2. And then afterwards, we'll have FCA will do their service and the games, and this guy named Austin might sing around a campfire maybe.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, I meant to ask you. Do you have some electrical outlets down there by the track I could plug some stuff into?
I get a generator,
okay.
And we put the fire out front of the bleachers near the finish line. Okay. I think that'll make a good place to kind of congregate. But we've got quite a few vendors coming in. Altus is coming in with their rig, and of course Maxie's. You guys have got a spot right up front there where you were last year.
Heck yeah!
And the truck, shaved ice.
Shit, roll.
What? No pit racing.
I thought I was hitting the pit racing button. I hit the wrong button.
Well, that's pretty apropos considering that I try to keep the kids down. We always enjoy in the mornings to see where the side-by-sides have been on the front track trying to be somebody they shouldn't. But anyway, it's going to be a good weekend. Weather's going to cooperate. Maybe chance of rain Friday night, which will help me on the water truck task.
But for sure.
Man, we're ready. We are ready. And then Friday night, we're doing the kids' races here that we're doing every Friday. And when we do the Stasic class, the P-Dubs last time had 9, those munchkins. So we're racing every Friday through July for the kids under the lights series. We take August off and we crank back up in September. So
heck yeah. I think the future generation of pit racing is going to be making his debut there on Friday night.
Yeah, we're going to be adding one more to the Stasic class.
Oh, man.
He's pumped.
Pull it out.
He keeps telling me on the way to school in the morning he's going to race at Jandebeur Bargs. It changes daily, but
yeah,
he tells me about it on the way to school.
That's so cool. That is so cool. We are so blessed to have been doing this series, and guys were cool with us doing on Fridays this year. So every Friday we started in March, we're going through July, and got some future little motocrossers out there cranking around the track.
Heck yeah. For this weekend, who you got, running equipment for you? You got some in-house guys, or you bringing anybody in?
I got that big Chan Baker. He's going to be working some of it. Buddy Bishop on the dozer. His son Jake's now on board helping us. And let's see. I've got a Jesse on the tiller. I'll probably rip it. And it's going to be really good. Already did some pre-prep to get things kind of dialed in. We aren't busting our chops too awful hard, but we'll be ready, man.
Giving everything a little bit of a facelift.
Yeah, faces will be good. Those faces are all pretty hard right now, so we're good on those. It's just getting all that soil. We hauled about 50 loads of dirt from the backtrack last summer up and mixed in with it. So some of those hard corners won't be quite so hard. And, but I think it's all going to be good. Practice 2 weeks ago. Everybody loved what we did, and all was really good for that.
We didn't make it out to that one. Did you make changes for that practice day, or is it similar to what you had last year for the state race?
Everybody likes that track based on what the different venues are. I mean, you go from rollers to rhythms to a table to an off camber to an uphill 120-foot triple. So it's really hard to want to change that now.
Right. No, we agree with you.
Yeah. Having said that, Vernon McKitty's coming back this summer to change it up for the fall. We'll have a race there on the fall. But, man, he's our guy. I mean, when he redid the front, everybody's like, dude, flows, it's fast, it's fun. And above all, my track is as safe as they can be. And we are a testament to that is when we don't have guys rolling out of here in an ambulance on the weekends.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud that they're fun, they're challenging. Above all, they're safe.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we agree with you, and we've had a lot of discussions on this podcast about your facility and the track overall. And, you know, how Facebook is. Everybody's always talking about what could be better and this and that, and we've discussed all those points over and over. But we always end the discussion with, if Bob never does anything to that track, we'll still love it. We'll still always be there.
Yeah. It's so majestic back there, all the mowing and all the work we're doing, and everything's turning green. The rain we got has just been perfect. So I think we're going to have a really epic weekend, as Barry Hill would say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no joke. It should work out perfect. Have a little rain come in Friday night, and then moisture will be on point for the rest of the weekend.
That's right. You guys got your big boy pants out?
Oh, yeah. We got them ready.
Super not going to play?
He's going to come out and play. Yeah, he's been on a little temporary retirement, but he heard Bob was running the national track, so he's going to make his way back out there.
We have people from Colorado and Nebraska and Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, all when we practiced 2 weeks ago. It has a following. It's really cool.
Yeah, it does. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys had the 50 National not too long ago. How'd that go?
It was good with several other tracks practicing on the same weekend. Just love how we love to step on each other. We had a good turnout. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, you can only have so many 50 classes, I guess, but y'all run them to the max. So, if you can get a good entry with just 50s running, that's pretty testament to how much you can draw.
Yeah. It's got a fan club without a doubt. And the fact that when we practice on it, it's an event just to put on practice. We respect the fact that if we were to just leave that track open and let Johnnies and Billies run up and down and try to better themselves, we'd have some kids back there getting hurt, and I just won't do that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's definitely a advanced level track, that's for sure.
Yeah. We just spent several days working on the front tracks, freshening them up. Buddy will be out here this week. The back track's been reworked, so even though we're doing the national, all the other 9 tracks are going to be open. And I get a kick out of people messaging me going, "How's the track?" Like,
which one?
Which one? But it's been cool that all of this has fallen in place and we're able to provide such a variety of things based on the skill set of who the riders are. So if you're a beginner, there are several places for you, all the way up to the guys that are the most accomplished. And never would have thought we would have had something like this, but we'll trying to put the words in my mouth. My dad's the one that made all this happen, so we're going to honor him on this weekend. And we raised a cross back in the fall to have them watch over all of us here at the park, and we'll be sure and give him credit this weekend for what he's accomplished to make this place what it is.
Yeah, that's really cool. We're all really, really grateful for the fact that all got started there, because it's turned into quite the facility.
Not many people had the passion that he had for motorsports.
Man,
and
I was going to say,
I'm
Bob,
delighted.
Sorry to cut you off. 2 years ago, I can remember seeing him mowing the pit area right before the state race. And
yes,
I mean, he needed to be kicked back, relaxing, enjoying it all, but he's out there mowing and getting it all ready for everybody just because he wanted to. I'm sure you guys told him he didn't need to, but he said, no, I'm out here, I'm getting it ready.
Yeah, for sure. Delighted to share that the Motorsports Museum of Americas at Daytona have asked us to put on display the bike that he raced at Daytona in '61. And I'm signing that contract probably in the next couple of days. And we'll bring that 61 model Perilla back to Daytona, where it all started. When the High Banks had their first race in '61, Dad's Perilla was on the front row outside, and I'm delighted to honor him and the heritage of what he has done and all the racing that he did over the many years.
Yeah, that's really cool. He's going to have a bike at Daytona. That's really special.
Yep. Only 50 years later or thereabouts.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I had the opportunity to come up there and see that museum you have just there at the clubhouse when you first opened it, and that's a really special little setup you guys have there. For anybody listening to this show, if you're an enthusiast of motorsports or motorcycles in general, you got to go into the clubhouse at Jandebeur's and check out what they got set up. It's a really cool little historical piece of memorabilia they got there.
Yep. It's going to be a good week. Yeah. I really appreciate what you guys are doing to promote the sport and get the word out. Look forward to your track review. The ones I've seen are pretty darn impressive. I look forward to what you're going to put out for ours.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we should have that out probably Wednesday or Thursday at the latest. So, yeah, looking forward to getting that done for you.
Cool.
Anyway, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, Bob. We'll see you Friday night then.
You got it, man. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
All right, we'll catch you later.
Take care, man.
See you, Bob.
Bye.
The infamous Bob Jandebeur.
Bobby Light.
Bobby Light. How many names we got going now? Like 14?
Man of many names. I really don't know of anybody with more names.
I mean, if
that everybody can like relate to.
If you hang out with Supernal long enough, you're going to have at least 3.
Unless it's you we're talking about.
I'm literally the only one that doesn't have like 12 nicknames from
You're
Supernal.
too close to him,
I guess.
I mean, I've only recently got into the nickname game.
Oh,
Son.
what?
No, I'm talking for myself personally.
Oh.
Like someone might actually call me by.
Spav Crick.
Spav Crick, yeah, that's one of them. But I'm giving everybody at least 14 nicknames.
What's some others?
Mine?
Yeah.
I think that's the only one that's kind of stuck a little. Just
that's
a
the only
touch.
one I know of.
And it's funny that fucking God damn it, how am I gonna forget his name?
Conley.
Conlo.
That's where Spavinaw came from.
See, Conlo.
Conley. McElvain. McEldick, yeah.
He came up with Spavinaw.
He's the one who even started the whole thing, and then it kind of stuck.
Turned to Spav, then Spav Crick.
Spavy. Spav.
Honestly, it's stupid.
Anyway,
if you don't know anything about it.
I'm not going to delve into the Bob's Jandebeur's race too much. We've talked about it on the last 2 episodes in pretty significant depth. All that being said, we were hoping to hear that Bob made a couple changes, but like we said in previous episodes, that track is already really, really cool as it is.
The masses have spoke.
Yeah.
They like how it is.
I gotta plug this in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know I plugged it a little bit on the last episode, but Fat Boys Foods, they wanted to make sure we shout them out again, which good listeners of the podcast, and they're excited to be at Jandebeur's for the first time for the state race, and they're going to be serving up some mean. I saw some pictures I think this is their second week open now. Some pizza, some briskets, all kinds of stuff that look amazing. So check them out while you're there.
Hell yeah. So for those of you who listen to the show regularly and you're going to be at the state race, Bob asked me this morning if I would play a little show on Saturday night. So Saturday night, come out and hear some country music.
The 1 million view dude is going to be performing.
He's gonna have a little chip on his shoulder.
No, I don't have. I got zero chip on my shoulder.
He might be a little nervous on the crowd. Don't.
Hey,
just
I gotta plug a little bit more right here. So just give me my minute here.
Go ahead.
So Austin, last weekend on my 30th birthday party that my wife put on and asked Austin to come. He said, yeah, he told me multiple times he's going to play about an hour. And we had Curtis Craig that was going to play too. And so I was like, yeah, that'll work. You play an hour, he play an hour. You'll probably play a few songs together. Over 3 hours later, the two are up there and everybody's just raving.
Who down?
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, everybody's like, dude, that was the best party I've been to in a long time.
3.5 hours. It was.
Yeah, but Austin hadn't, like, when he was up there, you showed no signs of wanting to quit.
Dude, that new speaker system I have, it's just done wonders for me because I don't have to strain so much to for people to hear me.
So your voice wasn't haggard.
Yeah,
out.
I sang the "Stick That in Your Country" song by Eric Church, and that one I really have to strain to sing. But beyond that, when you have that set up, I can play for a long time because I'm not sitting there trying to project so hard. When you're playing for a room of, or not a room, but if you're playing at the races like we usually do, and there's 15 people there sitting around, you have to basically yell when you're singing so that everybody can hear you and hear all the
fumes from the campfire,
hearing all the little inflections in your voice and stuff. But when I've got the speakers, I don't have to do that.
Someone starts your bike up, panic revs it, trying to scream over it.
So I can go forever doing that. But anyway, yeah, so that's what we're going to do at Bob's on Saturday night. I'll have the setup out there and maybe play for an hour and a half or so.
Or 3.
4.
Yeah. I really want to hang out on Saturday night.
I mean, what's our average bedtime on Saturday night?
Friday night
or yours?
Friday night it's 2 a.m.
You're normally going as strong as I am, if not stronger.
Saturday we usually get in about midnight-ish. Midnight to 1.
Maybe.
Usually.
I guess maybe I'm thinking of Friday night. 'Cause I'm thinking 4:30, 5.
I've never been up that late.
Depends what the mayor's up to.
I've never been up that late.
You're not going to outdo the mayor.
No.
And for some reason, the mayor loves to drag me. He's like, come on, let's go take a lap. I'm ready for bed, but I can't turn the mayor down.
Yeah. That's why
he throws me in the old gator.
That's why me and the mayor are such good friends, because we're always the last ones awake at everything.
Yeah, you got an excuse. The mayor don't. I don't know what he's got in him.
What's my excuse?
You don't drink.
Oh. Well, hell, drinking keeps people up later most of the time.
Yeah, but you hit that wall.
No, at OMC, I remember laying down in bed, and Austin said, you said something like, you're talking to the wrong dude.
I said you stayed in the wrong camper to be going to bed.
Yeah, because I'm trying to make it obvious. I'm trying to go to sleep, and he's sitting there just sitting up talking to me. And I start pulling the covers over my head.
Yeah, local.
And that was midnight.
Local chatterbox here. Hey, I don't know what it is about.
If you were playing music, though, it would have been up.
Once it gets... I'm not here to talk to you. I just want you to play music.
Used and abused.
I don't know what it is about once it gets dark. I'm ready to chit-chat. What time do you usually go to bed at the races, Chandler?
Oh, man, I go to bed early.
What time do you go to bed during the week?
I'm usually in bed by 10:45, 11.
What do you start at 7?
I'm out at 11:30. If I'm not asleep by 11:30, I'm stressing for the next morning.
But I mean, you start work at 7?
Yeah, I start work at 7. So I got to get up at 6 every day, which isn't too bad. But if I'm up at past 11:30, I'm starting to worry. I'm like, I got to set 10 alarms, make sure I get up. I'm a heavy sleeper, so.
So am I.
I got 10 alarms up. My fiance, she hates because I wake her up, and then she's got to wake me up because I don't wake up from any of my alarms.
So do you
You're describing my entire life.
How early is your first alarm compared to what time you actually need to be up?
Oh, well, lately I've been working close, about 10 minutes from her place. So I set my alarm at 6:10. I need to be out of her apartment by 6:40. So from 6:10 all the way to 6:40, I got an alarm every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm way worse than that. So, like, normally I always have an alarm that goes off at 5. I don't care what time I got to wake up or whatever, but I need to wake up and to be able to go back to sleep. The only dumb part is when I wake up at 5, I'm the most awake I'm going to be throughout that morning.
You should just get up and stay.
Yeah, but I can't do it. For some reason, I'm like, I better go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but the first time I wake up, I'm normally the most awake. And then, like, when I know I have to get up at that point to be on time, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you're
dead weight,
dressed and throwing on clothes as fast as you can to get out the door.
It's like you wake up and like in between sleep cycles or something at 5 a.m. because I know exactly what you're talking about. But then you go back to sleep and wake up at 7:30 or whatever, and you're in like that deep sleep.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
you're just ready to die.
Last night I think I was asleep, maybe before 9:30.
That's awesome. I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, but I woke
without
up
being up really late the night before.
I woke up dead. You know what I mean? I normally go to sleep. I've gone back to my old ways, unfortunately, to where it's like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 12:30 on a good night, but I'll wake up fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Me and sleep's been battling for years and years.
Yeah, I was doing really good there for a while. I was going to bed with Natalie every night at like 9:30, wake up at like 8, start working, and then I wouldn't go to sleep at 9:30, but I'd be in bed at 9:30.
Back to the old roots.
And now I'm like back at going to bed at 1 in the morning, waking up, whenever I can.
See, I tell myself I'm not going to let work control me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's doing. It's when I go to bed and I'm not asleep by 11:30 and I'm stressing for the next morning, it's controlling me.
Yeah.
So I try to tell myself that I'm not going to let it control me, but it always wins.
It just
always.
It just messes your day up so bad if your sleep is messed up the night before.
Yeah, I'd rather be good for work and not just dragging ass.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
This is probably just me, but I've noticed like certain things if I eat certain things in the morning, like the next 3 hours are a drag. Like I'm better off just not eating breakfast half the time. Like if I get up and eat like if I get McDonald's breakfast before work or something, I'm dragging ass for like good 3 hours. That grease hits and it's just rough.
I don't eat breakfast usually. I might eat a granola bar, but that's about it.
I don't eat it a whole lot either, but sometimes I just wake up hungry. I'm like, I got to get something in me.
When I first wake up, I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop and get breakfast on the way to work.
Yeah.
That always hits my head. And then by the time I'm in the truck going to work, I don't know, it leaves.
Really?
It's weird.
That's something I used to use as like motivation to get up in the morning because I'm a heavy sleeper, so I suck at getting up in the morning, just like you're talking about. But I'd like when I go to bed, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna get up and like get donuts on the way to work or something, and be
I pump myself up with that.
Yeah.
But then
that alarm clock hits, and you're like, them donuts ain't worth it.
And then by the time I'm in my truck, it's a dart to work.
Yeah.
I don't have time to go get food.
Yeah, I experienced the dart to work last Thursday, and then the hypo shut it down with a $379 ticket.
Nice.
Yeah, so now
that's a day ruiner.
I'm forced to leave early enough to go speed limit to get to work.
Was that on 51?
No, Turnpike. I mean, it was kind of a shitty deal because I was only
Turnpike
technically going 5 over.
44? Or the Cimarron?
Creek.
Oh, the creek. What were you on the creek?
Isn't it the Cimarron?
Going towards Stillwater?
Cimarron. Yeah, it's like right when you take the Stillwater exit.
Yeah.
Like off of the Turnpike, but you're still on the Turnpike when you take that exit.
Yeah, it's a Cimarron.
So it's a construction right there, but nobody works at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I had her set about 80, and I just let it eat at 80 because I was running a touch late. Like I would have been fine if hypo wouldn't have gotten in the way, but I hit the construction zone, and I just like fuck it, I'm gonna let it eat. And about the time I said that, I had blue light. So I was going 81.
Cherries and berries.
He clocked me at 81. So technically that's 6 over on a normal day, but that day was 55. So no.
Oh.
He got me pretty good. But I've only got, besides the DUI, I've only got one ticket I didn't get pulled over for 3 years when I started driving. So, I mean, I got a pretty clean record. And I guess the only ticket I got the night I guess I didn't really get a DUI. I don't really know how to describe it. I mean, it got dropped, so I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got a lane infraction, not hitting the blinker. I mean, you know about those.
I do. That was my first ever ticket. So I guess I better tell the story since we brought it up. So Chandler, one night, pretty sure I was 16.
You were in the old V8 low RPMs.
So I was driving my first truck. It was a Ford F-250, 1999 gasser, 1999. Get that word out. And we did. You ever been to Sand Springs?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how like Sand Springs is kind of separated by the river. You got
Yep.
Prattville on the south side, and then downtown on the north. Okay. So I think me and you had both been at my house.
Yeah, I think we were heading to my house.
Yeah, we had both been at my house. I lived on the Prattville side, and his girlfriend at the time was working at Domino's in Prattville.
Damn a hoe.
So we stopped by there. He was driving his truck. I was driving mine. We were going to his house. Picked her up, and then we got on 97 to go across the bridge, and we were dicking around going across the bridge. Like, he got in front of me, and then I hauled ass up in front of him and got in front of him, and then I yanked over into the other lane, and we go across the bridge, get down into town at the stoplight, and there's a stoplight right before you get to 412 Bridge, and I stop at that light, and this cop just flies up behind me, and I'm like, oh shit, he probably seen me do that. And I turn, I get on 412 to go to Supernaw's house, and sure enough, he flips his lights on, and he pulls up and he goes, any reason for the abrupt, unsafe lane change? And in my 16-year-old head, you know, being a smartass, I was kind of like, any reason for the extremely technical use of language, you know? But of course, I didn't say that. But yeah, that was my first ticket.
Kind of sounds like mine. Me and my buddy were coming home we were 16. He was driving his truck, I was on mine, and we were coming home from Lawton, where we hunt, and we got done dove hunting, trying to get back to Stillwater for a football game. And we are hauling ass. We're going like 95 down the highway. It's like a 70, 75 mile an hour highway. We were booking it, switching. He would lead for a little while, then I would get in front and lead for a little while.
That's wide open spaces down there, too, on 44.
I mean, we were hauling. And we get down over by Blanchard, just past the Blanchard track. And I guess a cop been following us for a while, and he finally caught up to us. He got in between us, flipped his lights on. I was leading at the time, so he flipped the lights on for me, stuck his hand out the window, told my buddy to pull over, and he came out. He was raging. He was so mad at us. He was like, it took me 2.5 miles to catch you guys. I was going 120 trying to catch you guys. And we're like, sorry, he was like, you guys just got done. Or he was like, you guys are in too big of a damn hurry to go dove hunting, aren't you? Because he saw us. We were in camo and had all our shotguns in back and stuff. And we're like, no, we actually just got done. We're trying to go to Stillwater. He's like, and then he ended up giving both of us a ticket. But yeah, it was a hefty. I think it was like 270 at the time.
Yeah, that first ticket I got wasn't too bad. But I did have, because I was 16 and it was like my first ticket. They had me do defensive driving because of a lane infraction.
Dude, what pissed me off about my first ticket? So I've never been pulled over in 3 years. I was 19 at the time. I was heading to Chase's. I think we were about to head to Branson. But I had my dirt bike in the back, and there's a motorcycle cop that pulled me over. So I'm like, this dude's going to be a homie. Just kind of shoot the shit with me, told me to slow down. But he pulls me over, and I think he got me at 21 over, but I was going 51 miles an hour. Like, the road, you know the road, it's like Turkey Mountain.
Yeah.
Real hilly.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like, I was just going down one of those steep hills, and I wasn't going to hit the brakes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's retarded. I'm on a budget. That's wasting fuel. I mean, come on now. But, so, you know, you pick up speed pretty quick. I mean, I was probably going maybe 5-10 over originally. I mean, 40 miles an hour is walking in a vehicle, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so he got me at 51, pulled me over, and wasn't very cool. Didn't acknowledge the dirt bike, nothing. Just gave me I don't know how big a ticket, probably 170 whatever, but yeah. I mean, 170 back then was like a year's worth of saving. So took a pretty good hit.
Dude, motorcycle cops are no joke. In Stillwater, I had a Z125, Kawasaki Z125 street bike.
Yeah.
That's why I rode to class and everything with. Well, I'm on my way, leaving my neighborhood, in the neighborhood still that I lived in, going to a final, and I'm on my motorcycle, and I'm booking it through the neighborhood. There's no speed limit signs in there. Everybody hauls ass, but I was probably going a little too fast. But a motorcycle cop meets me over the hill. I pass him. He whips around. I didn't have my motorcycle's license. So he gets me for speeding and not having my motorcycle license, and then makes me call my buddy who has his license to come give me his truck, and then come pick up my motorcycle. And then, I ended up missing my final because of it and all that. But
and that's all because he chose to be that way. He could have told you, go on.
Did you ever get your endorsement?
No. I rode the rest of the year without it.
Yeah, I got a A on my license. I never got the M.
Yeah.
I always thought you got a certain age and then you just kind of you were good to go.
Depends on how big the engine is, I'm pretty sure.
Well, mine was, he said whenever he pulled me over, he said anything with a motor in it, a bicycle with a weed eater motor. He said you need to get a license for it.
I thought there was a rule
that
if
makes
you
sense.
had.
I think we always lied to ourselves when we were on Zumas.
Because if you had a 50cc,
that makes no fucking sense.
No, it doesn't.
If it's a motorcycle and they have a motorcycle test, I feel like you would need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was saying pretty much.
What are you talking about, the A?
A means like
because you got it when you were 15 for your Zuma, so you could
14.
so you could ride it. 14 or wait, 13's the age, right? 14's the age under 100 or under
I think it's like
250.
Yeah.
So I still have it. A, it says motorcycle learner in view of licensed driver at least 21 years old. So technically,
so you needed someone following you the entire time.
Yeah. So technically, I needed someone following.
Well, I'm sure at some point there's always someone 21 with a license behind you. So
I don't know about
it. you're clear on that one.
Yeah. It's basically the same thing as like a learner permit.
Now that I think about it, all like the Zumas, the Grom, everything I've had, I've never got pulled over on any of those vehicles.
Yeah,
surprisingly,
I haven't either.
Because we were probably doing something stupid most of the time. We were riding.
I know when we were on,
you better get it because it's like $175 ticket.
When we were on back roads, we were always standing on the seat and doing like
Indian Larry's,
doing Christ airs and everything else going down the road.
BMX tracks,
ditches
on the side. Nothing smart.
Chandler, you said you were dove hunting. You ever do any deer hunting?
Oh, I do everything. I actually just got back from Sunday. I just got back from pheasant hunting.
Yeah,
So,
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I do everything. I deer hunt, duck hunt. Duck hunt is my favorite by far.
Where do you hunt deer at?
Elgin.
Oh, really?
Yep. We got a big farm out there.
Way down there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you fish?
Oh, yeah.
What's it like hunting down there? It's like wide open country. There's not a lot of trees.
No, you're in we got the Wichita Mountains right there.
Right.
So, we got the Slick Hills, which are big rolling hills, like huge, but so we got a bunch of hills. It's all hills pretty much where I hunt.
Yeah. It's almost like Western style.
Yeah. There's a bunch of hills and stuff, but it's pretty good.
So do you bow hunt down there or is it mostly rifle hunting?
Bow hunt, rifle, everything.
Are you doing it more traditionally, like sitting in a stand, or are you stalking?
No, I sit in a stand most of the time. I set up stands and food plots and feeders and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. You can do a draw to like go on a hunt in the Wichita Mountains,
like elk hunt and stuff.
Yeah. Which I've always thought that'd be pretty cool. I've just never been excited enough about it to go through the effort of doing it.
I need to start putting in for the draw, but there's some good ones out there.
Yeah,
for sure.
We saw we were down there. We went hiking down there one time in the Wichitas, which is actually pretty fun. They had like an 8-mile loop that we did.
Yep.
And when we were pulling out, some of the biggest whitetails I've ever seen in my life. It was like peak growing season, before they start shedding.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God. This is crazy.
We got some big ones coming through there for sure.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good little hunting spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I've been duck hunting one time, and this was the day, if I was going to like duck hunting, this was the day, because we filled a 4-man limit the first time I ever went. And we took them back and cleaned them at the house and ate them that day.
Yep.
And it was just like, man, the meat just wasn't really that special to me.
Duck is nasty.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of duck. The only thing, obviously, I'm not a professional chef or anything, so I can't cook it like most people can, I'm sure, but or some chefs can. But I usually make jerky out of them.
Oh yeah, I could see that being good.
That's one of the only ways I can eat it.
That was
because
we basically had like a breast version of jerky, because it was like Worcestershire and everything else that they cooked it in.
Oh yeah.
But every duck hunter I've ever met, they're like, well, you see, you take the duck meat and you wrap it in bacon, and then you stuff it in a jalapeno, and then you put some cream cheese on top of it, and then you put a little Worcestershire in there, put a little seasoning, put it in the fry. And I'm like, God damn, you do that with a dog turd, it might not be too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you do it for sure. Make it good. But yeah, it's one, and a lot of times when I go, I try to make sure I'm taking somebody who wants the meat.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I'll help you clean it and stuff like that, but I want you to take it.
I just can't. I can't get myself to kill that many animals and not want anything to do with the meat.
You got to try. You got to come though. It's so much fun.
I've been.
It's the best hunting there is, and I got a bunch of like fields that I hunt.
Yeah,
so I got a bunch of silhouettes and stuff.
I would like to go pheasant hunting. I've heard that's some good eating.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. This weekend was my first time to go.
Yeah. Well, see, when I was living in Wisconsin, I hunted public land a lot up there for deer, because obviously, you probably don't know this, but I went there for graduate school, and I didn't really know anybody there. And so I was hunting mostly public land. I ended up meeting some people later on. I got to hunt their property, but before that, it was public land. And there was this one place I always went where they stocked it with pheasant. And, pheasant aren't really in Oklahoma much anymore. Yeah. My grandpa tells me they were here pretty heavy when he was young, but I have never seen a pheasant in Oklahoma.
Yep.
And so I'm walking through the woods like 4:30 in the morning at this place in Wisconsin. And all of a sudden, I like basically step on one, and it busts out of the grass, dude. I shit my pants.
So when you say pheasant, are you also meaning quail?
No, pheasant is a totally different bird.
Because isn't quail the exact same way?
Yeah,
like they bust out. Yeah.
Quail do the same thing, but
yeah,
they're a different bird.
I think I've came across some on my land.
Really?
It scared the shit out of me.
We saw when I was storm chasing on Saturday and saw some quail on the side of the road. I was like, oh fuck, I haven't seen a quail in years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I'd like to do. It seems fun.
Yeah, it was a blast for sure. I loved it. I will definitely be going back next year.
I'm a deer hunting guy though. Like I love that entire process. I mean, I really enjoy eating deer meat, and I really enjoy hunting them.
You bow hunt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of the one I got last year here in a minute. But we're the only hunters in the room, so we got to get back on topic.
Yeah,
here.
for sure. I could talk about hunting forever.
I know.
I mean, hunting's my other thing that I do besides racing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of hunters that listen to this too. But
yeah.
Anyway, so
I think that's if you're Oklahoman, you probably hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, not everybody. Apparently, me and Chase don't hunt. Well, Chase kind of hunts. I mean, I wouldn't call him a hunter.
Chase goes hunting. I wouldn't say Chase hunts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably back in my day, I was probably more of a hunter than most people, but I never hunted.
Yeah.
Just living on the land and
shooting every bird we could find.
I've killed way too many innocent birds, I can tell you that. But
hey, I have to with my pellet gun.
Yeah,
growing up.
That used to be, I don't know how many hours we used to spend doing that.
Yeah. We were pellet gun assassins.
Oh, same.
Between my house and his house.
Your brother was the Hitler of your common bird in Oklahoma.
Yeah, just birds, squirrels, all
my
that.
Brother,
for sure.
My brother, he literally that was his daily pastime. Like he'd get home and take the pellet gun and just go shoot birds. And we did too, but he took it to another level. One day, I'm out in my backyard. Supernaut might have been for this too. I don't remember, but
you talking about the barrel?
Yeah. So we're out in the backyard and we had this burn barrel, right? And it was empty for a long time. And we go out there one day. My brother's like, check this out. This barrel is full of birds. A 50-gallon drum full of birds that he had sacrificed to the gods. And we were like, what in the fuck, Cole? Like that dude had aim like you wouldn't believe. He had a breakover pellet gun,
Yep.
Okay,
sightless.
We all had those. No sights. No iron sights, no scope, nothing. Sightless gun, and he wrecked shop on birds.
Heck yeah.
Do you remember how we had named the zones?
Yeah. Yeah, we had this place at his house called Old Reliable. There's always birds down there. Yeah. And we had this place at my house, we called it the Town, because it was really dense trees, but there was always a shitload of birds in there. It was so stupid. We had so much fun doing that.
Oh yeah, I had a blast in that. I mean, I used to walk around my neighborhood with my pellet gun. I had a breakover just like that.
In a neighborhood?
Oh yeah. Actually, when I was wanting, so I had a normal where you pumped it 10 times pellet gun, and that Christmas I was asking my parents for one of those breakovers. Well, me and Clayton McConville were at my house shooting pellet guns and stuff, and we're just goofing off in the driveway, and I pumped that pellet gun one time, and I shoot it at a leaf on the concrete, and it ricochets and shatters the glass of my parents' Tahoe.
Oh.
And I was like, gosh, there goes my chances.
Shoot your eye out.
There goes my new pellet gun for Christmas.
Yeah.
But I ended up still getting one for Christmas, but it was funny.
One more BB gun, pellet gun story. At my old at the land I grew up on, right outside the front door was this pretty big tree, and a hawk would occasionally land in it. And like I love birds of prey. That's like one of my number one things I love in this world. But I had it wasn't even a Red Ryder. It was like a Daisy. It was a little bit stronger than a Red Ryder, but it was just a single crank BB gun. Mm-hmm. The aim was like, if there was like I don't know. The aims are horrible. If you've ever shot one, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a round bullet. They don't
just like a Red Ryder.
No trajectory.
Yeah.
But somehow I got this hawk right in the body, and all he did was ruffle his feathers. I got him again in the body. He did the same thing. He ruffled his feathers. Then I got him in the head, and he went like, and then he just flew away, unfazed.
Said no, sir.
Yeah,
that's good.
He's just pissed off now.
Oh yeah.
You'd have been sad if you killed that hawk.
The one sad thing I've done more times than I should in my life is you shoot a cardinal, and I don't know if they always have like air in their lungs, but they pop every time you shoot one.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
I think it might be illegal to shoot a cardinal. I don't know.
Yeah, we've never shot any cardinal. I was just making all that up.
Yeah, that never happened.
Never happened in my house either.
Dude, one thing that still eluded me through all my years of BB gun hunting is the big woodpeckers. I've never got one.
I got one with a 22 mag one time on my grandpa's ranch.
Did it explode, or is there still something left?
It turned into a cloud of white mist.
Dude, Blake came to my house one time. We were walking around with 12 gauges. He shot the most innocent little bird I've ever seen. And
no, that was me and you.
That was me and you?
Uh-huh.
Who shot it, me or you?
Me.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the day I quit hunting birds.
That bird, there was nothing left.
Yeah.
Like the feathers weren't even flying anymore.
Yeah, that was the day I quit shooting birds. Because I was like, all right, we're big enough now that our parents let us walk around with 12 gauges. You can't shoot birds with a damn 12 gauge.
It's not even fun.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't grow up shooting guns. My dad, we never had guns growing up, but one of my friends brought over a 22, and we started shooting birds with 22s.
Not smart, because they travel a mile.
I know.
And you're probably shooting them up right in the air and missing.
But with our land, there's not houses too close. I mean, I know close enough.
Are you talking about in Tulsa Hills? These bullets travel a mile.
This was before Tulsa Hills was there. But still, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You are right. But
I'm saying you're right, Chase, by the way.
But we became pretty good shots we shoot at a bird, we'd kill it, or a squirrel or whatever.
The 22s are probably my favorite gun.
I mean, it was fun.
22s.
Like we'd sneak out a window of the house and come around the side and shoot them. But my mom started getting pissed because she likes birds, and we started putting holes in her bird feeders because there'd be a bird on the bird feeder and we'd shoot it. We'd hit the bird, but it'd go through the bird feeder too.
There's something to say about that. What you were saying, though, Supernal, like you get to a certain size gun, and they're just almost not fun to shoot. Like my deer rifle, I took it to the range like 3 days before rifle season opened this past year, just to make sure it was good and sighted in. I shot 7 rounds through that thing, and I said, "Good enough." Like it's a 270, and I was over it after that. Like 7 rounds through that thing.
From like the impact on your shoulder, or just
just the recoil. Like it's just, I mean, they're not obviously when you're using them for what they're for. You hope to make one shot and be done with it.
Yeah,
and usually your adrenaline's so high in that moment that you don't even really notice. But when you're just casually shooting one of them damn things, 4 or 5 rounds, and you're like, "Fuck this thing,
dude!" Like a 45. Like compact handgun, they're fucking kind of wild to shoot because you don't have a good grip to start with.
Yeah,
and then it's a 45, so it'll kind of blow back. I love handguns. I really haven't ever shot them much in my life, but they're so ungodly loud.
Yeah,
that
I remember when
it's ridiculous.
I remember that day we went and shot yours at the land, and I don't know what
we didn't have earplugs.
We didn't have any plugs. We didn't have any muffs.
Yeah,
I shot I think 2 rounds, and I'm like, I'm done because I couldn't hear a damn thing. I couldn't hear anything for like 2 days. Like handguns, I don't know what it is. They're just so ridiculously loud.
Their barrels are so short, so there's no time for that to slow down. Or I mean, it's just
like I shot 3 or 4 deer with a rifle with no hearing protection on.
Oh yeah,
and like your ears ring. Don't get me wrong, but like 30 minutes go by and you're good.
And shooting your shotgun,
Yeah.
you never have
Right, yeah.
never have earplugs.
We shot that pistol that day at his house, and dude, it was like 2 days before my hearing got back to somewhat normal.
Oh yeah,
Painful.
Yeah. After that day, I was like, from here on out, when I'm shooting guns, I'm wearing muffs. And of course, my wife is an audiologist in the first place, so she was like, "You dumbass."
Oh, just riding dirt bikes with no earplugs is bad.
Well, yeah. So it's probably true for all of us, but I've gone up to my wife's clinic and she's done some hearing tests on me. I've got this big notch in my hearing, and she's like, "Yeah, dirt bikes right around that frequency, loud music, guns,
Really?
it's all the same." Yeah. So
If mine never gets any worse, though, then I'm perfectly fine with not wearing them.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if shooting a handgun, yeah. But dirt bikes,
I remember one night we went to Darren Thomas's house, and he was working on one of Chase's old pit bikes, and Natalie was there, and Darren, when he rebuilds a motor, like, he revs the shit out of it. That's how he does a heat cycle. And to some people that probably sounds insane, but I mean, he worked on a bunch of my bikes and I never had any issues, so whatever. But anyway, he's doing that, and Natalie's like, she's got this app on her phone that can test like how loud stuff is.
Yep.
And she's running that app, and she's talking to everybody about, like hearing protection, this and that. And she's like, yeah, like, you want to start talking about hearing protection of like 80 or 85 dBs, something like that. And Chase was like, what are we at right now? She's like, 115.
I mean, it's stupid for us not to use it because, I mean, your hearing's so
Vital to our
sensitive.
lives.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
it may be from like what the damage I've took, but like low pitch stuff I'm good with, but high pitch stuff, like my ears will just go to a blur where I can't, like static almost. Like when dogs start barking and won't shut the hell up, my ears just start getting fuzzy and they don't stop.
I kind of know what you're talking about, because like if I take a piss and Natalie's trying to talk to me like in the next room over, I can't hear nothing.
Oh, I'm the same way. So if the shower is running and I'm in the bathroom, Kelsey's in our bedroom, like closer to me than the shower is to me, but I can hear the shower. It's like out, and I'm just like, better just quit talking because I can't hear you. And then she gets mad, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I hear you're saying something, but I don't know.
Right, yeah, it's the same thing. Like I hear her talking, but I'm standing there pissed. I'm like, I can't hear you.
So we've all been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she gets mad, and I'm like, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Whatever you said, I'm not going to know what you said.
I've got a faint ringing that comes and goes too, which is a symptom of hearing loss. I don't know if any of y'all have that at all, but
Man, my mom had something crazy happen. She just one day kind of didn't feel good and then kind of had a headache. And then the next day, one of her ears just completely quit. She's completely deaf in one of her ears. I don't know if it's her right or left.
Still to this day?
Still to this day. Been like 3 years.
Holy shit.
And she's gone to doctors and stuff, and they say it's just like sudden hearing loss.
Yeah.
Just in that one ear. I mean, completely deaf.
I've heard Natalie talk about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
it's
yeah,
like
it's crazy.
It's like if you don't catch it like right away, then you're pretty much fucked.
Yep.
I think that's what she's told me.
Yeah, and she just said she woke up one day and just couldn't hear.
Wow.
And now she still can't hear to this day. You sit on one side of her and you try to talk to her, and she's like, "You're sitting on my bad side. You got to get over here."
Yeah. That's my neighbor Bruiser. He's the same way.
I'm just getting ready to say
but
that.
he had a tumor in his brain, basically, that they remove, and when they did that, I think it messed with the nerves or something.
They had to cut the auditory nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's crazy.
So yeah, I hang out with him daily, and he always will sit down, and then he'll move over to my other side, so because he can hear on that one ear.
For sure. Yeah, it's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any type of ear infection or anything like that?
Yes. So I did.
Hey, where are the chips at?
Chips, they're in the lunchroom, where the ice machine is to the right. Austin's getting the munchies.
Perfect thing to eat during the podcast.
Yeah.
Chips.
No, I do. Sometimes I come up and he's like, "You just smashed a bag of chips, didn't you?" Yeah, I got hungry. But no, yeah, Bruiser all the time. I finally learned now to I know which side to sit, because after 5 years now,
I've only had one ear issue in my life, but I got it in the dumbest way possible. But it's just who I am, I guess. But like I always have like nose problems. Like my nose is always runny, stopped up or something. But I'll take like water, put it in my nose and blow it out, and it clears it out somewhat. Like warm water, like it's supposed to open up like your nasals or whatever. So I don't know, I do that shit all the time. But I did that, and I was in the shower, and I blew, but the water like backtracked to my nose or to my ears. You know how you can do that, like you can feel the air. Water went in there, and like for like 3 or 4 days I was destroyed. Like I couldn't hear. It was like I could feel water in there. Like I did everything I could to get it out, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah, so you were asking about ear infection. So I had that a few months ago, and I thought I did it with a Q-tip because I'm bad about
shoved it in there or something,
digging my ears out with Q-tips and just to get everything out. And so I called Natalie and I said, "Hey, I know you're going to tell me I shouldn't have done this." I said, "But I think I went too far with the Q-tip, and I think I may have it was bad enough where I thought I may have damaged my eardrum." She was like, "Well, are you feeling any pain?" I said, "No, I can't hear very well, and it feels weird, and it's not normal. There's something wrong." And she's like, "Well, eardrum, if you damage it, you're going to feel pain, blah, blah, blah," and all this stuff. And so I was like, okay. And then like 2 weeks go by, and it's still. So I called my regular doctor, and I went in, and he was like, "You probably got earwax that you shoved deep in there, and it's,
stuck.
And it's like basically touching your eardrum." And so they were going to flush it out. And the nurse comes in and looks like she planned to flush it. She comes in with all this stuff. She looks, she's like, "Your ear is like clean as can be." I'm like, "Well, that's how I try to keep it." But I feel like she's like, "No, there's nothing wrong." I'm like, "Well, something's wrong because I can't even hear you out of this ear. And it feels weird." So she calls the doctor in. Long story short, I had a slight ear infection, and it took another like 2 or 3 weeks
for it to go away.
Yeah, I took medication, all this stuff, and it finally went away. Now I'm back to normal. But for like a month almost, I couldn't barely hear out of the ear, and it was the most annoying thing ever. So hearing, it's one of them deals like you don't think about it much, but
teeth, ears,
until the
like
time
that
comes that. Yeah, speaking of that, tooth, I lost half my tooth a couple weeks ago. I was eating some beef jerky that I just gave you guys because, honestly, I made a couple bags and I was eating some, and literally half my tooth fell off. And I'm sitting on my desk at work, and it's my front tooth on the bottom, the very front one. The back half just fell off, and looking like I could see through my tooth. It was that thin.
That thin.
So I call the dentist and I go in, and they're no big deal. They're like, "Oh, we'll just do a little filling on the back." But I hate dentist work.
I believe me, you don't hate it. You probably hate it not half as much as me.
So I try to not go. So then that beef jerky sat for a couple weeks because I wasn't touching it. Because I hate going to the dentist. But anyways, we're a little off track here on the moto scene, but
get back on track.
We'll get back to it.
Bring it back in.
So
I'm over here eating Doritos.
So what difference can you tell from the 22 from your old one? You say you got the Works one?
Yeah.
So what does that package consist of?
It's got different like polished heads, like a polished head on it. It comes with the Yoshimura pipe.
Triple clamps?
No, it doesn't have triple clamps.
Any coating?
I think the forks and the rear shock have a coating on it. The rear shock shaft is apparently bigger than stock.
What is like a colored coating on it?
Yeah.
It's black?
It's black.
All black?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so the suspension feels a lot different, but I also never rode it. I didn't ride that bike until I got everything done with it.
With the suspension?
Yeah, with the suspension. So I literally just got it, sent it off, and then so I never really rode it before I got suspension work done on it. But from what I can tell is, so I used to always say, like, when I would go over bumps, I just feel like I'm getting jarred like crazy. Like, it doesn't just go smooth like I see people, and it seems like people are doing. But now I don't feel the braking bumps as much. I can corner it a whole hell of a lot better. That's probably the biggest thing, is I can corner it.
Do you think that's more suspension or more the changes in the bike? Or both?
Probably a little bit of both. I'd say more in the changes of the bike than the suspension, because my suspension on my 18 it was really good as well. I got it done by Marshalls. I mean, I had it set up perfect for me, but I had a 2007, I think, 125 that had an A-kit suspension on it, and that suspension was the best that I ever rode. And this is right as I was about to get this new 450 as well. So I kept saying, I was like, this suspension is something, there's something different about this suspension than the suspension that I have on my 18. So when I got this new 22, it had the coated forks, and then I sent it off to go get done. And then now that I have, it feels more like that 125 did.
Did they have to change springs? Or did you
I kept with my weight, I kept the stock springs, but they changed a few other things in the suspension. I don't really know what they changed, but
do Hondas come with many map settings?
This one came with, it's got 3 like map settings, like soft, normal, and aggressive, and then it's got traction control.
Which one do you run?
I think I run aggressive with the second most or third most traction control on it. So
you run it like that whole moto, you run that?
Yeah. And then then it's got that launch control on it
for the start. Do you run that?
Oh yeah. I feel like that's a game changer.
I don't even know what the KTMs have. I'd always run it in 2, and I've never ran traction control.
There's a lot of people that swear by running the KTMs in map 2 with traction control on.
2's the faster one, right?
Yeah.
And then I've never done traction control. I've only ever done one start mode on the Cowie, and I hated it. And I couldn't start I couldn't do anything with the Cowie, but I've never really messed with the traction control. I feel like Bob's on one of those dry days would be prime spot to run that.
I tried Bob's, so
I don't want it denying me power. That's what I don't want.
So I did the traction control at Moto City last year, like when I first got the bike and was racing it, and it was dog shit. Like basically when you let the clutch out, it goes whoa, 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 whoa.
I feel like it should adjust to throttle and wheel spin.
That's what it's supposed to do.
See, that's what my bike does. Like it only works whenever it detects the rear tire
just
spinning a
burning
little bit.
out, basically.
Yeah, and then it, I don't know what it does necessarily. My dad told me.
Should be just like your truck, it'll kind of cut power.
I mean, it like does something with the flywheel or lets it slip or something. I forget what my dad said, but it engages then, and then it obviously comes back off if it isn't slipping anymore. Mm-hmm. But that's what mine does.
Swing that over a little bit, that way it's in front of you.
Yeah, I feel like I can just see that working so well at Bob's on the off camera when it gets real slick and shitty.
The traction control?
Yeah. I feel like that'd be perfect. But I feel like I've rode so long. Maybe I could go a lot faster with it. I'm a pretty fucking stubborn dude, so I'm probably not going to try it, but I feel like I throttle control decent enough.
I ran traction control in practice one time at a state race, and I noticed it was like engaging going up jump faces, and that sketched me out. So I didn't run it after that. But then I went to this track in Newcastle called River's Edge MX Park. You know what I'm talking about, Chandler?
I've been there.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place.
It's really
you took
fun.
a lot of videos, right, that day?
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool place.
That seemed like a good day to test that kind of stuff out too.
Dry as a bone when I was there, and I'm like, okay, let's see what traction control can do. And I actually did notice a benefit in those conditions, but I mean, it's rare you get it that bad on a race day,
Yeah, I've done a lot of testing on this new bike with my starts and stuff like that. I'm trying to get better starts this year because if I can get a good start, I feel like I can stay in the top.
Yeah.
But so I've been really trying to figure out my starts on this new bike.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've had pretty, average starts this year. I had a good start. Second moto at Norman, I think I came out in 4th.
Yeah, I had a great start at second moto at Norman until I crashed.
Yeah.
That first corner.
Yeah. My first moto start at Reynolds was terrible. Second moto was okay. And then I feel like my first moto at Norman was kind of average, and second moto was pretty good.
I think I'm known for pretty shit starts throughout my career, but ever since I've been riding back again and all the shit that Pitt likes to talk, I think it just made me try to get better starts.
You had good starts last year, all year, for sure.
And I will chime in. My starts this year have been dog shit. compared to what I normally get. I haven't had a whole shot yet and haven't even been close. So
we've been up against some hitters, dude.
Has Odell not got a start?
Still, they're like ask.
No, I'm pretty sure he's hit every start.
I'm trying to think the last time I raced him. Like, I can remember racing against Supernal and Taryn and still being, like, either right there with him or beating him on the start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
I've always had pretty damn good starts.
I feel like at Raynard's for sure we had, like, 4 Supernals / Terrans, on the gate, like, speed-wise, So it's different. Like, you can still be right there with him, but if you come out 6th, it feels like you got a shit start,
I know one reason, like right now, it may seem like I get better starts. I don't know. Maybe I am just getting good starts, but when you don't have a full gate and there's other dudes around you, or like there's the gaps, I have the ability to be able to get a better start throughout that period.
Yeah.
From there to the first corner. Like when you got a 40-man gate and you don't get a jump, you're probably not weaving your way through there.
Yeah.
So now I have like a double advantage. Like I can maybe get a jump, and then I have space to work with before the first corner.
Right.
And I've known to blow a couple first corners because I'm going in a little too hot.
Yeah, you have blown. You did what? You did that 3 or 4 times last year.
I'm really good at Norman because it kind of cuts down
blowing
hard
corners,
and I'll be flying.
I feel like Norman. So you missed it this year. Norman was really tight corner.
The first one,
very tight.
Still hard left, but harder than normal.
Yeah, that first moto, I took off and it was a hard left, and it drops down, and then it's right after you drop down, it's that tabletop that you're crossing right there.
Yeah.
And I jumped down that, bermed off of that side of that tabletop to then get back on the. Yeah, it was a crazy first start for me on that first moto, and then of course the second moto was bad. I got taken out in the first corner right there, but. Yeah, that first moto was crazy. I overshot it big time.
Then I'm real curious how it's going to shake down for me this weekend, depending on who shows up. I mean, Taryn's showing up, right?
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah.
I mean, I think he's trying to hit all of them.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be there.
I mean, I'm pretty realistic dude and shit, so I'm not setting no hopes on Taryn. But if like Vega shows up, I think that'd be a pretty good one.
I think you got Vega.
Yeah, you have him.
I got him.
Yeah.
You're gonna
if fucking Klauser,
Brunk and Giancarlo.
You got to be watching out for that 389.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Telling you.
I'm coming for you.
He's hot this year.
I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just, and I haven't rode in I literally have not rode a dirt bike track since before. What was the last day race?
Before Gold Rush?
That was the last time I rode a dirt bike.
Ponca.
That's the last time I've been on.
The last time you
on the track, on a dirt bike track. So, I mean, I know that I didn't forget how to ride. I ain't worried about none of that. I know I got about 2 laps in me before severe
for the anchors
thrown
out.
Yeah,
severe arm pump's gonna kick in. But I don't know. It'll be fun. I wish I could do battle with Taryn, but I'm a realist. I just know how it's gonna go. The dude's just I don't know. He's insane. So, but it should be fun. I mean, if I get last place and leave uninjured, I'll be pretty happy. So anything beyond that's a win.
put it this way, you missed. I wish you would have came to Raynard's and watched. But so Taryn ran hard for 2 laps and battled with Chan Baker, which
that's insane to even
Chan
say.
is training every day and is a bad dude.
Yeah, dude. Chan's
which Chan was on 250, Taryn was on 450. So there's a little bit there.
Taryn just shows
took 2 laps for Chan to even get away from Taryn.
It just shows that Taryn can still kind of run what he's capable of for a couple laps. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a full-time
There
worker.
was another guy, I don't remember
racing.
his name, but he's a full-timer there. And Taryn was able to literally cruise for 2 laps.
And still beat him. Yeah. Yeah, when Taryn wants to, I feel like he showed it more at Stillwater last year than other places, but he was just, the way he was riding was just like, God, what
He'll
the hell
come in
are
a
you doing,
corner
dude?
and stand up, it looks like he's just cruising, but he still went through it 3 times faster than I would.
One thing I love about racing,
he's taking a breath and still just.
What I love about racing is now that we're older, these dudes want to come and hang out and bullshit. Back in the day, I've always known Taryn, but back in the day, I wasn't hanging out with him. He was real serious. I mean, I think he had a lot of stuff going on, But like now he's just trying to hang out and bullshit and you know what I mean? Like have a good time. But back then it was like you feel like you have some, it ain't an enemy, but it's like you just don't talk to people. It's kind of like Ricky and all them, they always talk about it, but I don't know, you just don't really hang out with people and talk to your competition.
Yeah.
Well, and you're saying where we're at now is not that way.
Yeah, it's not at all. Like
it's kind of like now Ricky and Reed, they're buddies.
Yeah, everybody's a buddy. Like Taryn, he's, I mean, pretty good friends at this point. Like I guess at the later end, I started talking to Barry, like Justin, but like growing up, like, I ain't saying he was too cool to talk to me, but he was just like, he's one of them guys.
He was there for business.
Motherfuckers, yeah, he's like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's different.
Yeah, for sure. I got you.
That's what we love about this class. Like, I mean, right now, Chandler is a big competition of ours as a team. I mean, maybe not you. Well, you better watch out. Maybe
I'm gonna one of these races.
But for me and Austin,
come for that neck.
Like we're like, damn it, this guy keeps beating us. But we bring him in here to hang out with us on the podcast and like hang out with us. And
you better start hanging out at the tent too.
I know I need to. I need to start parking over there.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, at this
Speaking
point,
of that, you haven't been at the last couple of races, dude. We got rope lights in the tent. Like we're big chilling. It's fucking badass. What? Oh shit! Here we go.
Shit, boy.
I figured
I
you've
think
been on
that's the
it.
second time that I've heard that.
I didn't hear the mayor.
You hadn't been wearing it out.
I didn't hear the mayor.
It wasn't. It was just he needed to be present in that moment. No, at this point in my racing career, I don't care who beats me, what level they're on, whatever. I could give a shit less
until the gate drops.
I mean, even if when the gate drops, I'm trying to do the best I can. But if I don't win, I could not care at all.
Oh yeah, I know. What you're saying.
For sure. That's how it is for me this year. That's why it's so much more fun than it's been.
Yeah, there's just no real expectations or like if I get dead last and I come home to the truck, I only can be mad at myself, or nobody can be mad at me. It ain't like a kid and I disappointed somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like you're disappointing your dad who's pushing you, trying to get you to Loretta's.
And, they paid for it.
Yeah, and they're mad at you now. Yeah.
Now it's like, fuck, where's that Miller Lite, bull?
Yeah, now my dad's having fun with it and stuff, and there's no pressure.
Do you think that helped you go faster? Like your dad being upset with you when you didn't do good?
I mean, I don't want to say it helped me go faster, but it definitely pushed me.
It did.
Yeah.
I definitely would want the disappointment from my dad as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to not race that good or whatever and him be like, oh, great moto.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, no, you don't.
Even
I don't
to
want
this
that.
day, I still want my dad to come out and tell me, hey, you sucked in that corner.
Yeah.
Or you need to do that. Like, I still want his pointers. I mean, he sees it a whole different way than I see it.
Yeah.
And he's been doing it just as long as I have. And I mean, he knows what works and stuff with me, but
yeah,
I still like seeing his hand motions. Like when I'm racing, like in the pits, I still like seeing, like we have. I mean, obviously everybody has signs that you can see from the pit, but I still like seeing all his signs and stuff like that when I'm racing. Yeah. Even though I may not need it, but I still like. It's like a comfort thing, kind of.
Like you're riding good, and he's just over there clapping. Like you're doing good, and just keep doing what you're doing.
I'm starting to make stupid mistakes, and he tells me, like he points and tells me to thank.
Yeah.
Like it's just something that you kind of need in the moment. You kind of need a little break, just that brief second to look up and kind of catch your thoughts and be like, okay, you need to get back into it. You know.
Yeah. I think I always preferred a happy medium. You know, I wasn't a big fan of. Like real aggressive talking tos after a race. It just didn't really benefit me, I don't think. Mm-hmm. But I agree. It's not good. Like every time you come off the track to hear, oh man, you did great.
Yeah.
You know, because then you're getting ninth place or whatever and thinking you're doing good.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think every kid's a little different.
Yeah.
Some kids really benefit from that really hard ass treatment and some don't.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, there were some crazy ones. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember Pierce Lowe.
I do actually, yeah.
Him and his dad would get fired up, and same with Howard Marquier.
Yeah,
Chase's dad. His dad would get fired up on some races.
Yeah,
and I mean, look at where Chase is now. I mean, it obviously it worked a little bit for him.
I don't know any dads from our age group that didn't get fired up.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, I've seen some things.
Yeah, like there's obviously levels to it, right?
Yeah,
like some are worse than others.
I know my dad. I think he had the potential to get there.
Yeah.
But his biggest thing was like, he could go out there and die.
Mm-hmm.
And that always, like, made him calm down.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's no way there's no way a dude's going to be able to be okay with himself if he's that hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then something was happening to their son.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where my dad would always draw the line,
Dial
I guess.
it back
I mean,
a little bit.
he's definitely been pissed off at me, and probably good reason.
Mm-hmm.
But
All my
that's
dad
where,
wanted me to
That's
do.
where he never went that far.
Yeah, all my dad wanted is me to just go try. It doesn't matter if I get dead last or first. As long as I tried my best, then it's okay, whatever I got. But if he knew I wasn't trying or saw that I wasn't riding to my potential, then he would get upset with me and sometimes he'd get heated. But
Yeah.
that's mainly where it comes from, I think, is just they want you to try, do your best, and then no matter what happens.
Yeah. I don't know. I say that about, I was saying I maybe I didn't benefit as much from the hard talking tos, but at the same time, like, I guess the thing that I did in life that, like, I really pursued really hard was, my degrees.
Yeah.
Because that was, like, my life goal from when I was a little kid. And so, but my parents were very stern with that. Like, because when I was in, like, junior high and shit, I fucking hated school. Like, college was so far away, like, I was like, fuck school. Half my friends are homeschooled.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be doing this shit. And they were always like, well, better start putting that application in for McDonald's, old son. Like, because if you ain't doing school, then you ain't doing nothing.
Yep.
And, you can argue about whether or not that's true, but that's how they always treated it. If I complained at all or if I wasn't doing good or whatever, it was a big fucking deal. Like, if I didn't make good grades, I didn't ride my dirt bike, I didn't fucking hang out with my friends, I didn't, like, it was a serious thing. And I hated it at the time, but I look back now and I'm pretty grateful for it because pretty much everything I have in life now is partially due to that.
Yep.
So I guess in some ways maybe I did receive that, just not via dirt bikes.
Yeah. Just different form.
Right. So I don't know. I think it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, I know I've heard, what pro rider is it that said there was never anything like that from his dad? One of them, I can't remember who it is, but
I don't know too many.
Yeah, I know I've heard someone say that is racing Supercross, but I can't remember who it is right now.
Yeah.
We all know Cincerilla's dad was a nut job.
I know most of them, at least I've seen them at the track multiple times level and seen things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know too many.
Yeah. I've always heard John Tomac was a hard ass.
There's only one for sure I know. Just, wow.
Yeah, Tomac. They
Trey
called him
Kennard,
the general.
But apparently there's a reason for Trey Kennard, but I think, his dad passing away was one of the reasons. I think it kind of jump-started his more serious career in motocross, so he's kind of a candidate, but
yeah,
I don't know, dude. I know most of them dads I've seen seen their bad days at the track.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good sign.
Yeah, no, and maybe we'll all know what it's like one day when we're spending all the money and doing all the traveling and everything else. I don't know, but none of us have kids that are racing at this point, so maybe we don't have any ground to stand on. I don't know.
Pitt's almost there. He's maybe about to make the turn.
Say,
yeah, like he better win this weekend. I'm yelling at him. No, I just hope he doesn't get like scared or shy, and because the way he is, like, he'll show up and there's a crowd and he's like, just like hide behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's been talking about it for weeks, and then I can see it coming, and then he's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which, and if that's the case, whatever. You can't, at that point, you can't force him.
Yeah, he's a 4-year-old?
Yeah, he's not even 4. He's
not
3.
Even 4.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully it goes well, but
maybe that's the thing. Like, I think you hit a certain age where you need to probably start pushing them in that direction if that's what they say they want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's so crazy to think about how, like, you have to mold a 12-year-old into focusing on his life trajectory.
8-year-old.
Oh,
What do
yeah.
you mean?
Like, yeah.
Look at like Ryder D. Look at Cincerello. Look at all them. They
Yeah,
didn't
but
start
how
when they
much?
were 12.
How much do you remember from being 8 years old?
8, I remember a lot. 3, nothing.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
You watch all these.
But, like, I'm talking like the first 3 or 4 years you're on 50s. Like, you're your mental processes are just not all there. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you look at the kids these days that are riding 50s that are on a premier level,
that's 4, 5, and 6
retarded.
And then
I agree
how serious it's taken.
I agree, but I think it's to me, it seems like those kids that are 4, 5, 6 years old and they have that passion and that drive. That seems like a natural thing. I don't think you can really instill that in a 5-year-old.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, when you start getting closer to like 10, 11, 12 years old, then
their lifestyle is still different.
Then there's an outside perspective that you can start molding for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be. I mean, given that me and my wife both ride dirt bikes, it'll probably be a very big surprise if my kids don't want to ride. So I'm sure I'll be there one day.
I'm going to be that dickhead, but we're going to be on a golf course, not on the track.
I mean, we're going to do that too. That's going to be the first thing I introduce to them, a set of golf clubs.
You like golf?
Oh, I love golf, dude.
Oh, yeah, I hate golf.
Why? Because you suck at it?
I suck at it, and
hey,
it's just not fun for me.
Makes two of us.
I mean, it is not fun.
Here's the thing for you. You got another outlet you can do when you're really old, which is hunt. I mean, I feel like you can hunt at almost any age.
Yeah,
True.
you can.
But I can golf at almost any age. So
the only time hunting starts to get out of reach is when you can't like drag animals anymore and stuff.
But also too, golfing, like if you have back pain or whatever, you can't swing the club.
What kind of hunters are out there dragging animals? I mean, if you took a number on,
if you're
on
in
the
your 50s, you're using a side by side.
It depends. It really depends on the situation you're in life. Like if you're a wealthier guy or a better off guy with a lot of land and you can drive your truck down to wherever things are going on.
Yeah, but Austin, say you're 50s and 60s, you're gonna have your grandson out there with you.
You're right.
I mean,
you're right.
That is true.
That is 100% true.
I think you're kind of looking at hunters as more of the dedicated, like real hunters. Like I'm talking about your average hunter.
No, I'm saying like not everybody that hunts can afford a fucking side by side or can afford enough of their own land where they can be driving all over it and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of people hunt public.
Right.
And if they hunt public, a lot
You're
of times
dragging that bitch.
you have to drag it no
matter
what.
how deep you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like the property that I hunt, it's separated by a creek that's like 10 feet deep. You're not driving anything across it. So if you shoot something on the back half of the property, you're
swimming it?
You're dragging it all. No, there's not really a lot of water in it, but it's so steep on either side that you can't really drive anything down through it. So if you shoot something on the other side of the property, you're dragging it all the way back to that creek and up and down the creek before you can put it in your truck.
So where is it that you can field gut it and leave a lot of it behind?
Where is it that
people do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you usually clean it wherever it lays, and then the coyotes and stuff clean it up within a day.
Just the guts?
Yeah. Like, you basically, you just leave all the entrails and stuff out there, and you take the rest with you. But, like, both deer that I shot this past year, I mean, I went the next day to hunt, and it was all gone. So, nature takes care of itself.
I like to coyote hunt over that stuff.
Yeah.
Once I got a deer.
I still have a mean hunting argument. I don't know if we need to get into it, but I still think it's true. It's one of them stubborn things on my part, but I still think that most people hunt for the kill and not for the meat or anything else. It's just for the stink. I mean, if you think it's not fun to hunt something and kill it, you know what I mean? People aren't hunting
to a point, I think,
because they're trying to eat.
Yeah, to a point. I mean, from my perspective, like,
it's a cool process that that happens.
I'm not just like
to end something's life.
I'm not just like salivating over the murder of a deer.
Yeah, and it's not like
it's not the kill. I don't think they enjoy the fact that they killed something. It's what it took to kill it.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
And we're not
the process of it
needing that meat. Like
no,
we don't necessarily need that meat to survive.
This is a hill that he'll die on. Is no one needs that meat. Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, we like that meat. We don't necessarily need it,
right?
But it helps. I mean, there wouldn't be hunting seasons if it was going to hurt the population and stuff. Like, there's a reason that we have hunting seasons.
That being said, though, so let's say you already have everything you need to hunt, right? You've already got your bow and your stands and whatever. If you shoot 2 deer, it costs you like $200 to get all the meat processed.
Yep.
You're good for the year.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't need any other meat. If you don't mix in chicken
lots,
and everything else, which we do. We eat chicken and fish and stuff. But if you were only going to eat venison, $200, you got meat for the whole year.
Yep.
And probably then some if you're only a family of 2 or 3.
Yeah. In Oklahoma, I don't know if you could kill enough deer just to like make things kind of safer road wise. You know what I mean?
For the population.
You know what I mean? Like deers. And you know, I don't know, it's crazy.
Dude, I was driving home from Norman the other night. So I live in Hara.
Yep.
And I took Highway 9 out to, Choctaw Road, come back up to 40, and then hit Kickapoo Turnpike to my house. I counted 85 deer on that drive.
Like
that's a lot.
I'm driving from Skytook to Stillwater every morning, and I'm hitting 20 to Hominy to Cleveland, like straight back, not back roads, but a heavily deer populated areas.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like it's only a matter of time before I whack a deer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we were going down to South Padre last spring for spring break. Yeah, it was last spring. And there's this stretch of highway, like I think it's south of San Antonio, between there and South Padre, which I know is a huge stretch, but somewhere down through there. We were a couple hours from South Padre. It was at nighttime. And we're on this highway, dude, and there were so many deer on the side of the road. I told Natalie, I said, if you see one out in the road, close your eyes. Because we're doing 80 miles an hour. Like, there's nothing we could do if it busts that windshield. Like, there were so many deer.
Yeah, it's crazy out there. I mean, up in Edmond where I live almost to Guthrie pretty much, and we live out in the middle, kind of in pastures, but with neighborhoods, out there. But you drive through those and you see tons of deer on the side of the roads. Yeah, they're everywhere.
I just wish they were a little smarter with cars, but they're not.
They're such smart animals. Like, when you're hunting them, you're like, wow, these things are crazy intelligent.
They're smart and surviving.
And then they get on the side of the road.
It's like, let me jump in front of this thing.
And they see those headlights, it's just like, game over.
Maybe me and you need to start a hunting podcast, Chandler.
I'm down.
That'd be a blast.
Yeah.
That's something we could talk about forever.
Yeah, I could talk about hunting forever.
Yeah. Anyway, we're on a racing podcast right now, so let's reel it back in.
You gonna talk about your 5-year hiatus or what?
My 5-year hiatus,
or what was
of not getting a deer. What are you talking about?
So you mentioned on that one. It's been that was a song. It's been 5 years since I shot a deer.
It wasn't for lack of trying. I can tell you that.
I know. It was just a little. Just a little jab in the side.
I'll give a brief explanation of that since Chase brought it up. So, when I grew up hunting with my grandpa, it was mostly gun hunting. He bought me a bow when I was real young, but when I was real young, I was really into guns. It's like like a bow sounds lame, and so I didn't really get into bow hunting until I was in college. But so like the last 3 years, I hunted with my grandpa, which he died in 2017. So the last season I hunted with him was deer season 2016, and so those last few years I was just gun hunting. But that property that I hunted on had massive deer on it, and it was like a no-no if you shot a little deer. But my grandpa, being the guy that he was, he tended to direct traffic, like, you go here, you go there, this is a stand you sit in, blah blah blah. And there wasn't a lot of the last couple years. I probably could have argued with him and said, no, I want to go down here, and he'd have been cool, but I always just usually listened to him. Like, he wanted me to go here, that's where I went. So a lot of times he'd send me to these stands that were regularly hunted, and as well as I do, that regularly hunted stands generally don't attract big deer because they know better. And so because of that, I did see one giant deer, I think in 2015, that it was either 15 or 16, I can't remember, that I would have shot, but he was like there and gone. I didn't have a chance. Then I moved to Wisconsin. I'm hunting mostly public land, and that is hard hunting, especially in a metropolitan area like Madison, Wisconsin. And then the 2 years that I was living here up until last year, I was just hunting on like my grandparents' house, which they only have 5 acres, and you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's pure luck. There's no skill involved. You just sit in a stand and hope a deer comes in. So that's about 5 years there where a deer never really came my way. But
hey, it happens.
Then we got a lease this past year, and it all came together. Anyways. Spavvy, you ready to throw down at Bob's or what?
Yeah, I'm ready to throw down at Bob's.
I am too.
Just ready to see what it's like to be back on the dirt bike. It's all new to me again.
I know how it's going to go down. He's going to wake up 5 minutes before his practice. He's going to fire the bike up, not let it warm up, just rev it to the moon.
Set him valves.
That's his normal routine.
Yeah.
But then he'll still go out and kick her ass.
You're not wrong.
Unless he crashes.
I'm looking forward to it.
I've been crashing McGee, I think, my last couple times out.
Take me out this time.
break me down what happened because I don't even remember. I don't feel like it was my fault.
You took the inside line, I thought.
So you don't remember? I feel like we broke this down a couple times.
So it was the second corner after the start at Ponca, right?
No. So Ponca, you just start and then you just stretch
left
where we park along the fence.
Do it right.
Left, right. Okay.
Do it
whatever.
left, do it right. Hit the table.
Go long, long straight. Go left under the semi truck bridge. Turn right. That roller. Step up left. And then double right.
I remember it now.
I know the double to the right. I was hitting like a little bitch.
I remember exactly what happened.
And I was hitting it slow, and I could hear you coming up on my left. And then we come up over that roller, and it's roller and there was one inside good rut. And I knew you were on my outside, but I was like, as long as I keep this inside rut, he can't pass me because his outside sucks. But I knew you'd pass me in the next section, probably. And you came in, Mr. Badass, come over this roller and just cut me off, and you lost the front end and were sideways just on the ground in front of me. And so I T-bone you, and I basically go over the bars and flip over your bike, and we're both on the ground. 1, 2, go to 10 and 11, which was the back.
I think that was mostly my fault.
That was you.
Yeah, I was behind you guys when that happened.
Yeah.
I think
you were like, thank you.
Yeah. I was like, heck yeah.
Then he about killed me coming through the pack.
Like you said, you were going pretty slow on that inside.
I know I was.
But
I was just being smooth. Like, it was my first race back after the injury. I was like, I'm just take it easy. But I know if I take this inside, just smooth lines, smart lines, I'm going to fall back to third or fourth. But that's good.
Yeah,
that
was probably my bad on that one.
I know that next section, the jump, the triple, whatever that section, I know you would have scrubbed it and passed it.
Dude, that tabletop's insane at the end of that section.
You would have scrubbed that.
It's 10 feet long, and you're coming really damn fast.
And then the corners after that, I struggled.
Right yeah. Right after that triple.
Yeah.
Like the roller, triple.
Rhythm thing.
And then table that has a steep face, and it's 10 foot long, maybe.
Yeah, it is kind of a dumb jump.
Maybe longer because I just realized tonight that the uphill triple at Bob's is 120 feet. So that jump could be like 30, 40 feet. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, it is a long jump. I mean, you think about it, you're doing like fourth gear on a 350 coming up to that.
There's a long run at it.
Yeah, I mean, I must have went 140 feet on that jump before then. I know I've OJ'd at least 20 feet.
20 feet?
At least.
20 feet's like probably all the way to that next roller.
I've pretty much landed on the roller.
And never let off wide open, you could probably clear that roller. Wouldn't that be insane?
That would be so gnarly.
That would be sick.
Oh, my God.
I swear to God, that jump.
Send it.
Hey, but what happens if you misjudge it and you're like 20 feet beyond the roller? Or you come up short.
I don't think you got that unless you're on a 450.
It had to be done.
It has to be done.
Dude, it's so funny because I work with so that famous quote is from Bo Caskey, and I know he's out there, but if he does listen to it, it'd be funny because I work with his dad every day. He works at Platinum, so me and him bullshit about dirt bikes, and we'll talk about Bo. Bo would tell me what's up, do him and whatever. But yeah, that's hilarious. That famous saying. It's definitely not many people know it, but. For me, that shit's famous as hell in my head when the day Bo told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you hitting this jump? It has to be done.
I never heard the quote, but I saw him do it.
We got to explain it to Chandler since he's here. He don't know what we're talking about. I don't know if we've ever told this story full on the podcast anyway.
So Extreme World, TMX, whatever you want to call it, it's been, I don't know, it was mid-2000s or something.
Probably like 08.
08-ish. I feel like his bike
like 05, 06.
I feel like his bike was like a 05, 06. Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. I was on 80s though. So I started racing 80s in 2006.
Probably 06.
Well, the story goes there's a section kind of in the middle of the track at Extreme World, and there's a double kind of right out of an inside, and I don't think it was possible. You could maybe triple single from the actual track.
I think there was a couple like Corey Green or really fast guys that would triple it.
You could triple it.
I think maybe you could triple single if you had the skills, balls, whatever to do it. But Caskey had it in his head that it needed to be quadded. So he was coming from like off the track. He wasn't hitting the main the actual berm before the jump, but he's looking at it, setting up, doing some test runs up to it. And I remember I walked up to him. I was just like, why are you hitting it? And basically he said, it has to be done. And I don't know. I think this may have been prime. Oh man, I can't remember any names tonight. What's the old dude that made movies?
Oh,
I start with a J. Janeway. I feel like Janeway may have been filming back then, so maybe that's
who it was.
Maybe that's where his motivation was truly coming from. But I know I may be wrong.
Janeway is the one that filmed this, so that's probably why it had to be done.
I may be wrong, but I think he could have got any amount of speed he wanted to up to it. It was just amount of timing it. But I think he cased right on top. Shoulder may have blew out. And then a pretty good crash.
Yeah, it looked like as soon as he landed, like it's something you could have rode up. As soon as he landed, he just lost control.
Shoulder came out, something to where he couldn't hold on to the bike. But yeah, if we can dig that footage up sometime and maybe get a clip, we need to do that because that was some.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That was some fucking gold.
Yeah, crazy.
You can find.
He hit the ground hard.
Oh, another badass Janeway moment. He was out at Extreme World, and I don't know if Q was out there, but somebody was like whipping and. Janeway come fucking scrubbed at him and ate shit and broke his back. And I think Gordon had a famous line because he was like the paramedic on site. But yeah, we need to try to dig that footage up, especially since Janeway's passed away. Mm-hmm. So kind of get his name out there again. Just memories of him because he was a cool dude.
Yeah.
So
you can find at least a part of, I think it's Janeway 2 on YouTube.
They actually have all kinds of famous quotes because that's where the power burn, like there was some good.
Get that power band,
Janeway had a cool thing going back in the day.
Yeah,
there were some awesome clips.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was. I almost feel like it was a better time for that sort of thing back then because, like, the only way you could watch those movies was to buy the DVD.
Yeah.
And back then, like, what did we do when we were bored at night? We watched DVDs. We watched the beginning. We watched Mini Warriors. We watched the Janeway.
Yeah, I miss those. People not like we're the last generation to know what it's like to grow up watching old motocross DVDs.
Yeah.
Because now there's a million vlogs and that's what everybody watches.
Right.
Nobody's going to buy some DVD that somebody makes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like I miss out on a bunch of videos like we used to watch, like the beginning and stuff, just because I don't know where to look. There's videos and movies of motocrossing like everywhere. I mean, it is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't ever know where to look, I feel like. But back in the day, we used to just wait on those DVDs to come out, and we would sit down and watch this, and we'd watch them 10 times over.
Mm-hmm.
Like
over and over.
All the Mini Warriors and like Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of them. Travis's movies.
On the Pipe.
I'm sure I've seen that. I don't remember.
That On the Pipe was like a mix of moto and like free riding. Because I remember there was a scene on one of the On the Pipe movies. It was like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I hit a fourth gear jump.
Yeah. It was a movie. It was a movie like that.
Yeah,
more like free ride, freestyle.
Yeah.
They don't make bar to bar anymore, right?
Janeway 2 has no sponsors.
What do we got here?
We
got some old Janeway footage.
We'll just see.
Yeah, hold on. Let me
turn the volume down. We'll just see what we find in there.
No, we can put the volume on.
But this is like,
oh my God, look at the quality.
So this is posted in 09. This was 06, 07, 09 film.
I could probably still drag these DVDs up if I really looked hard enough at the old house.
Friends out of Oklahoma like to go out and push life to its limits. Whether it's
jumping fire.
I remember that clip.
Janeway crew's down to do it all. In this flick, we travel all over the U.S. looking for other people like us. They call us adrenaline junkies and say that we've lost our mind. Well,
that's Brett Q right there in the
back.
back.
I guess we agree.
That's Branson.
That's T. Dale.
That's what I was thinking. It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't see by that stance, bull?
The Doughboy.
Adam.
Joseph?
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Oh, there it is.
That's it? No, that's not.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Had to be done.
Yard sale. There's Blackwell.
Yeah. Corey. Tearing on 80s.
That's Cooperland, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's the big step up.
Man, look at the video quality.
I know.
Nowadays.
Well, I mean, this is worse than it actually was, but God damn it, I miss Cooperland.
Can you imagine riding Cooperland now?
Oh,
like
dude.
On our bikes that
It'd
we
be
have.
so awesome. That looks like Lake Whitney.
Yeah, I remember Taryn was a big hit.
It's funny how you don't put their names because that's like a big thing that you always do.
Adam Joseph.
Jake Leatherwood.
Yep.
Remember him from K&N?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I hadn't seen Leatherwood in a grip.
Matt Lemoyne?
I think that looked like
Oh,
Villapoto.
God.
It was number 26.
One of them, I can't remember.
Oh, God.
I remember that video.
Well,
God, some of these
for those of you
crashes are
listening
gnarly.
that can't see what we're watching, the Janeway 2, Janeway 2.
There's Barry on pit
YouTube.
bikes. That's the VIP.
Honka, famous
Some
crash.
gnarly crashes.
Woo. That's all
There were some gnarly crashes in there.
That's the.
We got some good footage.
That's the video I was talking about. That's all I've been able to find of that movie on the internet.
Yeah, I guarantee that DVD's somewhere at my sister's house on the land.
Yeah, that's true.
Where? I don't know.
On the
probably
res.
somewhere
in your old back bedroom, probably.
Do res.
Yeah. Oh shit! All right, let's roll to another commercial real quick, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Tired of your kids living through their cell phone? Experience the great outdoors at Jandebeur's, just 30 minutes south of Tulsa in Okmulgee. Bring the family to Jandebeur's. We've taught over 3,000 kids doing up to ride safely and be good sports, even when they're throwing dirt around one of our 10 tracks. Don't have a bike? No problem. You can rent or buy the right bike from our knowledgeable team. Book a lesson now. Packages available for every skill level. Experience the great outdoors at Jandebeur's Motorsports Park in Okmulgee, Oklahoma.
Motocross families tend to be really busy. Whether it's working on bikes during the week after work or racing them on the weekends, it's hard to find time to take care of your lawn. Progressive Lawn and Pest in Tulsa has been servicing lawns in the Tulsa metro area since 2005. They've built a solid reputation in the community for outstanding work and ability to follow through on commitment and professional lawn care and pest control services. They use quality products that get results you can see, and their technicians are highly trained and will stop at nothing until you're completely satisfied. They're licensed by the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, and they've had a Better Business Bureau rating of A+ since 2011. Give Progressive Lawn and Pest a call today at 918-978-5296 and tell them that Pit Racing sent you over there, and give yourself one less thing to worry about around the house.
Yeah, reminiscing on those old videos, man. I've talked about the beginning a lot on this show, but that's always been my favorite.
Yeah, that has to be one of mine.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch that movie all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, like, how many of the kids they videoed back then went on to be big names.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Like, Tomac's featured on there pretty heavy. He's obviously one of the baddest to ever do it. Villapoto's on there on 80s and big bikes, I think. Alessi's featured really heavy on there.
Probably any video ever growing up.
Yeah. Who else? Nico Izzy featured real heavy on there, which he had a pro career, but then went south.
He's probably the only one that, not the only one, but he's one of the main ones that didn't go on to have a big pro career.
Yeah. Well, also, who else? Austin Stroop. He's on there a lot.
Yeah, Stroop kind of got into the scene and then just didn't. I really don't know exactly what happened to him, but he just kind of never did too much.
Yeah.
And Ian Treadle, he'll be on almost any video too, but he just had that bad injury at Daytona that kind of, ended his pro career.
He's got a little bit of a social media presence.
I think he's training now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's still doing good, still in the game,
right,
in a different way.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear Mike Alessi wants to come back to Supercross.
I saw something
Really?
about that.
Yeah.
He's supposed to, or he's still doing the arena crosses, I think.
Yeah, he's doing the arena crosses, but I heard that he was trying to, or he wants to come back to Supercross.
Mm-hmm.
Did another guy that career got ended because of an injury before it ever really got started was Brad Frace.
Yep.
And he would have been a name for sure.
Brad Frace, for sure. Doug Supernall.
Not seen that.
Oh, God. I think he died.
Did he?
Liver.
Doug?
I think.
You know Doug?
Doug.
I don't call him Daddy.
Don't blame you.
Oh, I love that that's the first video that pops up when you Google his name.
This thing is huge.
It is.
World Championships.
World Championship wins for the
Oklahoma MX Rosenchin.
And we're looking at, for those of you who are listening to this, we're looking at the Pit Racing Vlog episode 2. That's the first thing that pops up when you put Cole Supernall into YouTube.
I was just searching names, see what pops up.
Yep. When you search my name, it's all music shit. No dirt bikes for sure.
Search Chandler.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything on there.
God.
See what pops up when you search Chandler Hardzog.
The battle for Arizona Ave, bull.
I don't think I have any videos.
No vids.
Go ahead, Chase.
No, you
good? Yep. What are you thinking this weekend, Chandler? What are you hoping for? Top 5?
Oh yeah, it's got to be top 5.
Yeah.
Podium, boy. We're looking at
Podium,
we're looking at the medals.
I'm interested to see who
Trying to
shows
get
up this
some
weekend.
hardware.
I mean, Brunk still got it after that injury.
He does.
Yeah.
He blew my doors off at Norman.
He's still riding fast. I went and rode, last Thursday. Was it last Thursday or the Thursday before? I went to Norman for Thursday night practice, and Brunk was there. He's riding good. He's fast. I was behind him, and he just I feel like he makes no mistakes. Like, he's very smooth in his corners.
Yeah.
And then
he makes it look effortless.
Yeah, I'll stay with him, and then I'll make a bobble in a corner where he's just super smooth, and then it inches away. And then the next corner, if I make a bobble, he's smooth. He just keeps inching away. So, I mean.
Yeah, he did me dirty on the off camera last year.
Mm-hmm.
Second moto.
Yeah. We know the 4 of us are going to be there. Brunk's going to be there. Taryn's going to be there. Brad will be there. I don't know if Giancarlo will be there or not.
Is that the guy on the Cowie?
Yeah, 322.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, everybody shows up to Raynard's, but then, Game Moto has
Last couple of years, they don't show up to all of them. They just hit.
Game Moto's got a thing with Norman, so I think they showed up and kind of showed their support, but I don't know if they'll make it to all of them. So we'll see. Who else is in the class? Bega.
I guess Donor hadn't been showing up, right?
No, Donor hadn't been there. No. Bega will probably be there. We'll see.
Is Mason ever going to race it?
Banfield?
Yeah, is he just mechanic?
I don't know. He's mechanic Banfield right now, but he wants to race, but he's
so is Brad still going to be there, or is he down and out?
Jackson? I don't know.
Or is he out of town?
No, I think he'll be there.
I said something to Jack the other day, and he said that he might be there, so that I would assume that means Jackson's going to be there. I don't know.
And this will be Blackwell's debut, right?
Yeah, Blackwell will be racing on Saturday. Yep.
If I was Chase, I'd get in that class and just to clean him out.
Me?
Yeah, since you can ride it now.
I got to work Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Blackwell's in plus 40, though.
No, he rides plus 30.
Oh, that's right.
30's his main class.
Yeah, I keep getting that wrong.
Plus 30 AB on Saturday.
Yeah, he ain't even 40 years old.
Yeah, 40's on Sunday.
I mean, he's grandpa. He ain't grandpa.
He's 38, I think he said.
Yeah, high 30s, something like that.
Mid to late to high 30s.
I keep getting it wrong, but yeah, I'd like to run the class, but I work Saturdays, so I can't.
Yeah, I forgot that they run that class on Saturday.
Clean him out. No, he's got my number.
Well, you get them starts back dialed in, then you get ahead of him there, and then when he tries to pass, bam, show him a wheel in the dirt.
Yeah,
W.
It's not how I ride.
So what about?
I ain't gonna if I can't beat you, I ain't just gonna take you out because I can't beat you, unless it was you.
I can't remember any names.
Plus 25. What were we talking about?
It's not plus 25. It's our boy that blew his knee out last year.
Blew his knee. Oh, Kyle
Sharp. Kobe Sharp.
Kobe
Sharp.
He raced at Norman.
Yeah, he raced Norman.
Is he back at it, or is he just hitting Norman?
He was out there just getting his feet
wet.
Yeah. He definitely wasn't his potential, which I know the feeling. Like when I first came back, nowhere near. Remember when we went to River Valley?
Mm-hmm.
The way I felt then,
yeah,
that's the way I felt like I watched him at Norman.
Gas MX,
yeah,
for the new kids on the block.
So couldn't even barely hit a corner.
Yeah.
How long ago was Gold Rush?
November, so that's been 6 months ago.
Half a year.
So think about this. I'm pretty sure when I blew my femur out, I was back on the bike in less than 6 months.
Yeah, but you were in your prime.
I'm perfectly healthy, and I hadn't even been on the bike in that long. Like, I mean, that's just insane to me.
Whose fault is that?
I mean, I'm not blaming nothing. I'm just saying, like, it's been that long since I've been on the bike, and there's no injuries here.
Yeah.
Growing up sucks.
Everybody's been asking where you been. I was on the line at Raynard's, and he was sitting next to me, and Russell was like, "Where's Supernaw at?"
I mean,
we all said, "Hell if we know."
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
I really don't mind missing those rounds, but I don't know.
He said I was hoping it was going to get rained out.
Yeah. I always say a bunch of stuff, but I feel like next year my life will be pretty settled. I'll be pretty good. Like maybe because I really want to get my own little type of camper, something that I can take my dogs and my girlfriend. She'll have her own place to sleep and all of that because I don't know. It's a bigger deal to the woman than it is to me. You know, I could go there and sleep in the truck for all I care, but you know, she wants her own little deal. She wants to bring the dogs because I got a whole zoo at the crib. I'll probably end up having to bring the lizard for all I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think next year will be pretty more better off.
You can get you a slick rig for about $180 a month.
I don't know. I'm kind of done with payments.
Done with payments.
I'll probably get another one, but yeah, I got enough payments working.
Yeah.
But no, I'm getting old. I'm almost 30 now. I'm trying to get on Chase's level, you know.
What do you mean by that?
You're just more better off, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I finally bought. It took me like a year, but I finally.
Oh shit!
We gotta call in.
What's that?
Mason Banfield, you're on the Pit Racing Podcast.
Pit Racing, boo.
Hey, we're 1 minute into the 3 hour mark, so you better make it quick.
Well,
so
I ain't got much to say.
So we were just talking about it, and so we got Hardzog here, and he was asking about you. So we got Jandebeur's this weekend. You mechanicking, or are you gonna do a little mechanicking and racing? What's going on?
You never know. I did do a little mechanic and racing, and my when I did the racing, my rider lost the back. He lost the seat cover. So I'm just gonna go ahead and probably stick to the mechanic, because I'm probably doing it disjust.
So what'd you say? He lost the seat cover.
No, he lost the seat. Sorry, and the seat cover probably because he got ripped off as well.
So he crashed and the seat fell off. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, it could have been the best. But, I was on the line when the seat came off, so you never know. There's not much you can do.
The bolts
when you're on the line.
Hey, so clear the waters. Did you ride? Was that your qualifying medal you sent?
My qualifying medal, dude. I'm a fucking Loretta Lynn area qualifier.
So you rode. So you raced and Jackson raced.
Dude, I'm a big deal.
I mean, I can't.
First of all, did you talk to my manager? Am I getting paid for this shit?
Have you not checked the Instagram feed? I'm everywhere.
We can say the four of us sitting here do not have a 2022 area qualifier ticket.
That is true.
That tells you something. I mean, I don't know what. There ain't much else to say then, boys. I will be at Old Mogan if you do need my autograph.
I'm signing a 6.
A couple bones. No, see what had happened was Jack was racing Jackson's mod bike, and those cowies fucking suck. Sorry. But those cowies, they're great bikes. They're fast as shit, but they do lose bolts, and there is a couple people that have cowies up in there, and I know they've lost a few more bolts than I have.
Oh,
AKA nub.
Cowies lose hella bolts.
Supernal, Nat.
I've watched Brian Jones take a bike off the showroom, and before the end of the day, he had no more back fender, like one front fender bolt, a couple of engine bolts were gone. He had like a clod of dirt the size of a Miller can in his airbox. Like,
I just never knew you had a Loctite seat bolt on a Cowie. You know, it was just a new thing to me. But
So really, what's the story? Did you ride or did you not?
no, I really did ride. Yeah, I did really race.
And what'd you finish?
Yeah. Well, they got fourth.
Fourth and plus
Yeah,
2.5?
Yeah, they're 4 out of 6. Maybe I didn't get last.
That ain't fucking bad, dude.
What's Hardzog doing in there?
Chilling.
Just hanging out.
He drank a Coors.
He's been talking about beating us all year.
Damn, yeah, dude, he's sent it. I mean, sent it on.
That's why he basically was calling you out. He's like,
Dude,
you
that's
guys can't.
One thing we never got into, but Hardzog almost ended my life last year at Elk City.
Yeah, you better jump
That is true, but let me pause you. He basically was saying, you and Dixon haven't beat me, so where's Banfield at?
I haven't beat Hardzog? Come on, boy.
This
Come on,
year.
don't even be-
We're talking about the first two races.
Well, come on, man. I'm washed up, dude. I don't even ride anymore. Listen, Hardzog's on a fucking 12 grand 450. I'm over here on a 2020 250, baby. Come on.
Oh, he's letting excuses flow already.
Yep, I hear it.
Well, hey,
no, he's a bad dude. No,
Hey.
I respect that dude. He shreds. Like he's a bad dude. I mean, I'm pumped you guys got him on though. That's badass.
Yeah, we've been going down memory lane as usual.
No, man. How long is he at 3 hours? I'm just kind of. Can we go to 3:38? You know, just end it right at 3:38. That'd only be fitting.
Yeah.
With you on the line, we might need to go till 420.
Yeah. Hey, that's a little bit past. I already celebrated that, baby. When was that, actually?
A few days ago.
I don't remember it, surprisingly.
I'm surprised, honestly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. What's the Heat been up to? What's he been doing? Just heating the air or what?
Low key, dude, just doing stuff.
So he brought me the bike tonight, and it's looking rough.
No, it ain't too shabby, dude.
Yikes.
I mean, a little H2O.
on the chain.
I mean, honestly, you'll see him sending it this weekend. He'll probably be trailing Taryn just by a couple seconds.
No way. He ain't riding.
It's if I can find my gear, we're lining up.
He's a namaste. You know what a namaste is? Namaste at home.
That has been true.
That's been 100% true. Oh, damn.
He's a namaste.
I'm going to put that in my back
Is that
pocket.
Is that a Native American word?
That's
No,
fucking
that's a
hilarious.
namaste at home.
And you're the Nama go home.
Yeah, I love the Heat. That's my guy.
Well, we gotta wrap this thing up, Mason, so we gotta let you go here.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm sorry I had to crash it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
I
good,
love you
dude.
guys.
All right, we'll catch you later.
Racing, boo.
We love you, boo.
Shit, bull.
Love you, boo.
So yeah, it sounds like he ain't racing.
No.
It sounds like he needs to go find some Loctite or something. Shit.
Them Cowies do lose bolts, though.
He's figuring out the mechanic game.
All right.
His ears must have been burning.
Yeah, I know, right? What? What are you trying to hit?
I don't know.
Yeah, don't be hitting buttons over there. Stay in your lane.
Nobody's mentioned the mayor tonight.
What are we doing? We wrapping her up? Or
Yeah, we're wrapping it up.
I'm getting the shakes over here.
Coming up on 3 hours and 10 minutes here. Chandler, appreciate you coming in, brother.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's a great blast.
Making the drive from Oklahoma City.
Hey, it's worth it. It's been fun.
Yeah, it seems like if you're a one-time guest on here, you're a two-time. So
Yep.
sure we'll see you in here again eventually.
Bring it on.
Yeah, hell yeah. Catch you at Bob's this weekend.
Heck yeah, I will be there.
Be lined up, elbows out, ready to rip.
Yep.
All right.
See what we got.
Coming for you.
Yep. It's been a good show. Back to back, 2 weeks. That's good for us. We got to keep that stint rolling.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep. What we got next? Coming up, Jeremy Thomas's race. Yeah. Try to do one before then. Get Jeremy on the horn. Keeping it rolling at Pit Racing, boy. Hey, give her a good sender here. Ready? Pit Racing bullshit, boy. God. And we're out of here. Episode 17. It's been a blast. See you next time. Episode 18. Coming in hot.